Does it work? Holy shit. Everything works. First thing in the day. Maybe I should go to bed. Maybe this is just like, this is a sign and I should just get the fuck out while it's good. Yeah, right. Like, should I run? It's all working. I don't know what to do. I feel very, I feel like I should run or like set something on fire, burn an effigy. I don't know. Good morning, everybody. Or time zone or whatever the fuck it is for you. How the fuck is everyone? Good morning, Time Factor. Glut, Gregarious, Heltar, Nixie, Jose. Good fucking morning. Why are my alerts still silent? God, that's weird. Hold on, let me check that. They were silenced yesterday too, and it's definitely not me. Thanks for the resub, fuckstick, by the way.
Them
Bezos
bucks will be my lubricant tonight. Hail the Dank Lord and thank you.
I gotta figure out why those are still muted. The fuck? It's so weird, it bothers me. It did it yesterday, like we had alerts all day yesterday until like the last 2 hours, and then all of a sudden they were just muted. It was real weird. Go away. Where are my... I'm still learning stream elements, so just like, I apologize. You know. Struggle with me. Nothing's muted. The fuck? Hello? Where are my sounds? What the fuck? Fuck out of here. Sorry, guys. This is weird. It annoys me. I want my alerts. I work very hard on them. What in the fuck? Okay, I'm going to try it again. Here we go. What the fuck? We're having a great time. What the fuck? Nothing's muted. Okay, so everything doesn't work, so it's cool. We're fine. Everything's normal because not everything works. Apparently. Okay, I fixed it. I don't know why it works, though. The fuck? Thank you for the resub, Time Factor. I'm sorry. I don't know why that happened. I mean, I'm not starting over because everything so far looks like the lighting still looks really good. The monitors are working. Like, I don't want to touch anything because everything's actually working. I don't know. I'm kind of scared to touch anything. How the fuck are you guys? Good morning. I'm overheated. I'm a little warm. I was running around, though. Just blame Zeke. I always do. It's usually his fault, to be fair. Everything is his fault. I checked my water bottle. There's no spider in it today, so that's good. Ugh. Spiders. I'm gonna smoke weed because I'm sober. And it's a time zone. It's a good enough reason, right? Yes. Just needed a warm up. I mean, it's ever since I've been doing like the switch over between Stream Elements and Streamlabs, it just every once in a while gets muted. I have no idea how or who, like what. It's very bizarre. I'm here for my dose of joy. Life can suck an infested chode. The mental images of an infested chode are a gift you've given me today. Oh my fuck. Let's take our dose of joy and smoke some pot about it, maybe. If you're new to my stream, hi, what's up? My name's ClassyKatie. I live in Denver, and weed's legal, and I smoke a lot of it. So, you don't have to. This is not a gatekeeping situation, but welcome to it if you'd like. No, you're working. I mean, I guess technically. Doesn't feel like it. I mean, my last job was unplugging people for a living, so, like, it's gonna be real hard to, like, match that in terms of, like, work for me. I don't know. Cheers, everyone. And happy time zone to you. Ew, it dripped water on me. I just washed my bong. It's moist on the bottom. Gross. It's fine. Cheers, everyone. My allergies are real bad today. I literally like had a sneeze attack this morning. Sneezed like 50 times in a row. I just couldn't stop. And like 2 streams of thick ass snot were just falling out of my face, and I was panicking because I couldn't find a tissue anywhere. It was a morning. I would like to cut my nose off. I hate it. I don't know why my nose is so fucking broken. Cheers, Angel. And to anyone who would like to imbibe. Oh god, Mag, I would rather die. Not a fan. Lilac Diesel. That was a really big hit. Lord. I didn't think that was that big, but sure was. It's Lilac Diesel. I'm fine. Just chill. That was a big hit. Oops. Whoa. Thank you, David. Good morning, love. How are you? I just got off the phone with my dietitian and it sucked, man. Oh. Why? How so? Do you want to vent to us? Burger King. I don't like either of those places. I'm going to be 100% honest with you, Miniman. Like, of all the fast food places in the world, I'd say those are my bottom 2. So I am probably not the one to ask. Miniman says he needs help. Taco Bell or Burger King? I'm not a fan of either, so this is going to be chat's problem. Taco Bell's okay if you're starving, but other than that, It all tastes the same. It's kind of like Chipotle. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that. Like, everything at Chipotle tastes exactly the same. It all just tastes like Chipotle. Ooh, finally nailed down my contracts for the spring and summer. Ooh, yes! That's awesome. So how much work do you have? Like, how long, I guess? How many months? Ooh, Katie, my ophthalmologist appointment for my glaucoma, my eye pressure went from 19 to 11? Oh, fuck yes! And no new nerve damage? Dude! You know how many people have to go through so many medications to get success with glaucoma? Like, that's fucking awesome. I'm so excited for you. My Nana had glaucoma, so I always get tested for it. I think I have it really mildly, but nothing. I've never noticed anything. I'm sweating. Sometimes if you take too big of a hit of weed, it makes you sweat. It's intense. They ask leading questions and only tell you what you're doing wrong, even when they contradict themselves in the same conversation. Are you able to get a different dietitian or a different nutritionist, maybe? Up until August? Ooh, that's kind of nice, though. CBD is incredible, dude. No one's willing to fund enough studies of CBD for us to, like, come out with amazing facts. But I'm really hot, sorry. Personal, like, experience. My mom had 2 knee replacements within a year. And the second one was really bad because when she got the first one done, she would overcompensate on the other knee to let the first one heal, and so it made the other one worse. And all they would give her is Percocets, and they wouldn't do anything. Like, Percocets just didn't touch her at all. She said basically what they would do is, like, knock her out, but she would wake up at 1 a.m. screaming in pain because she would, like, roll over or something and her knee would hurt. And I went to a pot shop, and I got her some real high-dose CBD lotion, and it got her off the Percocets. Like, she just stopped taking the Percocets. Because the problem with, like, especially a knee replacement is a lot of the pain is caused by swelling and fluid retention. And CBD can be really, really helpful when alleviating swelling and stuff. I use it on my sore back all the time. I have CBD lotion. I use it a lot. Not through them. Do you have to go through them? Could you get a different, do you have insurance that would just cover you getting a different dietitian? Like, you could just have 2 and ignore the shitty one? My eye pressure decreased by a major margin. That's so amazing, dude. I think that's amazing. It literally, like, it sucks because CBD is one of those things, especially, like, in the US. Most places in the US, it's 100% legal. It's nationally legal. Some places in Texas are weird because Texas. Again, my Texans, I am so sorry you're there. But the problem is that it's not regulated. CBD is not regulated like it should be because it's kind of benign No one's done studies on it to prove anything either way. Like, it can't hurt you, but other than that, nothing. So if you want to try CBD for anxiety, pain, swelling, back pain, whatever, I highly suggest going to like a weed dispensary or even a medical dispensary. Like, you don't need a medical weed card to go there to buy CBD lotion. But this is the caveat. Weed shops, like legal pot stores, medical pot stores and shit, they are watched by the government like a fucking hawk. Like, they are so regulated as to what they carry. They have to carry legit stuff. They have to throw it away after a certain amount of time because it's gone bad, all this stuff. So if they were to carry a CBD product that was lying about the milligrams, they could get their entire business shut down forever. So they won't. I mean, they're highly unlikely to do it, on purpose. So I feel like it's more dependable, more trustworthy to go there. Maybe that's just me. You are really hot, but are you also feeling warm? I am feeling very warm. I took too big of a hit. I didn't mean to. But it's weed THC is a vasodilator. And so sometimes if you take too big of a hit, like your first hit in the morning, it vasodilates all your arteries or all your vessels really quickly, sending all the heat in your body to the surface and making you sweat. It's great. It goes away pretty fast. It's just bizarre. Yeah, and scar tissue. Yep. It's the dietitians with the team that did my weight loss surgery, so I have to pick up their phone calls. You have to, but could you get for just your personal well-being, could you have another dietitian that's actually helping you? You could still pick up the phone calls from the shitty dietitian. Like, we can all pretend to listen. We all went through grade school. Oh, cars going up $250 because, quote, people are driving now, so we need to up prices across the board. Wait, car insurance. What the fuck? $250? Plus, the finance needs the finance, Katie, I can read, it's fine. The fiance needs an endoscopy to figure out why his reflux is extra horrible. Buy random $800. Is that what it costs? After insurance? Fuck that. Also, it's about time for my monthly RX, which is $321. Do you use a coupon? I'm just saying. I don't have insurance for my meds either, and without a coupon, they'd be like $600 a month to not want to kill myself. It's crazy. My new memory foam mattress didn't expand complete, so we aren't sleeping good. No! We have to start looking for houses because it's too expensive to rent. Rent is $950. That's too much on your plate, honey. That's like too much. I'm trying to think, is it GoodRx is the website? Seriously, like, GoodRx gives me a coupon that knocks my Lexapro from $600 something a month to $40. And you don't need a membership. It's like nothing special. It's just a website that gives really good discounts on meds if you don't have insurance that covers it. Like, I have emergency insurance, but I don't have insurance for anything else. Go to Wendy's. Oh, Wendy's is decent. They used to have like a jalapeno bacon cheeseburger that was not terrible. Now they're introducing CBG, which is used for shaky hands. Is it delirium tremens? I think it's non-essential tremors is the general name for it. My sister has that, if that's what you're talking about. And glaucoma. I'm from Serbia, by the way, where they just introduced CBD, but I did the studies, and when I went to Greece on vacay, took it from my mom. Dude, where did you go in Greece? Was it wonderful? Greece is easily my favorite place I've ever gone in my life. I need to go back. They all suck. Well, it's like, I mean, I'm not trying to throw shade or hate, but is there a real dietitian degree you can get or education? I don't think so. I think it's like you do a little course on the internet and you get a certificate. Which is unfortunate because I think nutrition, I mean, I'm sure you know this. This has been like a blank for years, but doctors and medical people, I was never given a nutrition class in my life. I've never taken a nutrition class before. The only reason I know anything about nutrition is I studied the digestive system heavily. That's it. Doctors are never given a nutrition class. Like, we basically have to put it together ourselves from all the other information we're given and try to help our patients with it. But I've talked about this in my channel before. Like, it's really, really hard as a human being in the world to just find accurate information that's real, that tells you how to eat healthily. Like, if you go to the American Heart Association website, their first recipe they suggest has bacon in it. So if you go further down into the website and you start looking at who pays for this website, it's the American Beef Association that pays for the American Heart Association website to even exist. It's like, who do you know? How do you know what to eat? Besides listening to your body, which none of us are taught. Ooh, you had a visit from the government today. No shit. What is that like? Like, did they come in to like check your shit? But NIH data on their efficacy is really, really bad. Really? What the is? I wonder if maybe they're almost like a placebo effect. Like, in order for the clinic to be approved to do bariatric surgeries, they must have this amount of dietitians on staff or whatever. Dietitian degrees, they do have a degree, and they're typically stationed in endocrinology departments. Really? Interesting. Huh. I wonder why. I wonder why. I would think digestive, but that's just me. I'm not. I'm a belly button up girl. Hello, Asidious. How are you, love? What's the difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian? I think a dietitian is an actual like degree, like an actual educational program you can take. Nutritionist, I think, is like a fake little name that Instagram models come up with. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, dietitian is actually like licensed. Like they can be fired for lying and it's giving you mal misinformation, malpractice, misinformation. And I think nutritionist is just, I could say I'm a nutritionist. Like anybody could do it. I think that's the difference. Yeah. It's weird. America, we don't have a lot of like regulations on people don't get in trouble for just like saying they have a degree and spouting bullshit on the internet. It's real weird. Like I'm sure you've seen it on I see it on Instagram. I'm on Instagram all the time, but there's so many like fad diet models with millions of followers that are like touting like tummy tea or something. Stop it. And they're like, I'm a dietitian or whatever. No, you're not. Stop it. I take 10 different medications a day to live. So glad I live in the UK, Lizzie. I mean, I had patients before that would come into my office literally with a bucket. They would have like a chicken bucket of medication. Just buckets of bottles, and they would have no idea what they were. They're like, over the years, they just keep giving me more, and this is what I take every day. I'm like, do you have room for food? It's wild. It breaks my heart. That's discounted for the RX. I've almost met the deductible for the year. It's a continuous glucose monitor for diabetes, so it's not covered by GoodRx. Oh fuck. The insulin's only $150 for 3 months, for which is doable. That's still kind of crazy though. I feel like insulin should be free. You die without it. Like what the fuck? Maybe that's just me being ignorant. I feel like that should be funded by the state. That's the fact that you can get like Percocet for free and you can't get fucking insulin without paying for it is crazy to me. I'm smiling out of nervousness. It makes me fucking infuriated. It's so bizarre. My cousin's wife went to college to become a nutritionist. A nutritionist or like, do they have a license for it? Where did they go? Because I'm just curious. I've never seen the program before in my life. Like, I've never seen a program for that. I love stopping in here when shit gets to be a lot because you go on random rants and tangents and stuff. I'm terrible at it. It's horrible. But I mean, I hope you guys always feel comfortable like ranting about life. Like that's what friends are for. I think. I didn't grow up with any friends, but I've been led to believe that the people that like enjoy your presence, we're here for you to like unload on because that shit sucks, man. You can't take that on your own. No, but none of us can. Like it's just too much. I think I've told you this before, but I was talking to, was it Neuro? Or one of my doc friends from Hopkins, and he was saying that the average person since the very first COVID shutdown, their stress level has gone up 30%. So the amount of cortisol active in their system has gone up 30%. The average person. So think about all us anxious motherfuckers. Like we're just drenched. Like we're sweating cortisol at this point. I think friends are for borrowing money and never paying it back. Well, that too, obviously. I mean, duh, David. And for telling you you're fat in clothes. You have free insurance that covers your meds in Washington State? Really, Merman? That's amazing. Washington State actually is one of the best. It's one of the number one states they say you should retire in because the Medicare and insurance is really, really good there. I only know the correct word in Spanish. In Spanish, Katie. In Spanish, it's nutriologo? Clínico. Google translates to clinical nutritionist. That's cool. What country are they? Are they in America? I just never have seen it, but I feel like it's something that we all need. God, my dog's farts are so fucking bad today, my dudes. They're like a rotted corpse. I don't know what's happened. Tricks under my desk. It's so bad. Why do you smell like a dead animal? All morning they've been doing this, just like gassing me out under my desk. I'm dying. It's so bad. I don't know what they ate, but it's so bad. The chicken bucket is so fucking real. That's not one patient. I mean, I'd say a good third of my patients I saw in the pulmonary clinic would come in with a chicken bucket of meds. And I would take all the extra time. My front desk ladies would get so pissed at me. They'd be like, you have a new patient. I'd be like, I don't care. I'm going through this bucket of meds with my patient because they don't know what they're eating. You know, I can't do it. I can't let you just eat pills. I'm going to tell you what they are. Insulin should be free. Like, that kind of shit is ridiculous. At least I know what mine are and what all of them do and why I take them. I'm transitioning 3 of them right now. It's a pain in the ass. It's really, really hard. I see most of the patients that came in with a chicken bucket, they're older. They're like late 60s, early 70s. And they've been getting prescribed meds for the past like 20 years. And they just keep piling up. And I have a hard time taking 2 pills a day. And I'm young-ish. Like, I couldn't remember all that bullshit. Like, all the names. I mean, literally, we're talking like over 20 pill bottles in a bucket. I just feel terrible for them. So I usually write them all down and I'm like, here's layman's versions, what all of these do to you. So you know. Because over time, it's hard to keep track of that. I totally get it. Because you have to balance, like, knowing 20 different pill bottle medications and, like, just living your goddamn life. It's Spandich. God damn it. Oh, fuck. I had poor social skills pre-pandemic. They're shot to shit now. I don't think I had poor skills. I think now, since the pandemic, just because I am not ever going out and haven't traveled in forever, it's more like I'm over-friendly. Like, I feel like I'm acting like a customer service person at a restaurant or something. I'm like, oh my God, hi, how are you? That's fantastic. Where normally I'd be like, sup. I'm way over friendly. I've like lost my gauge with humans, which is weird. Mexico, see, that's awesome. Mexico has an incredible medical program. One of my sister-in-law went down there to get surgery on her stomach because it was insanely cheaper, like 1/8 of the price, and it was fabulous care. I think honestly it's our government has made us all like villainize Mexico for some reason and made us think they're like dirty when in fact it's a very like first world country down there. Like Mexico City is huge. If anything, we're the ones fucking them by taking all the water out of the Colorado River. Break to air out. I think they're done. If they do it again, I'm definitely going to take a break to air out. If you guys have ever smelt like a dead carcass, it's like that mixed with shit. Their farts are so bad. It's just like bad. My ex would give my son meds to calm him down, quote unquote, then also give him meds to make him more active, quote unquote. I asked, why are you giving him meds to counteract each other? Her answer, the doctors say this is what he needs. She never asked a question because you were paying for his med bills. She didn't ask the doctors what the fuck she was giving her son. No wonder she's your ex. I'm so sorry. That's, ugh. Would you mind doing a quick rundown on marijuana and medication safety stuff, as you do for your medical smart talkie talks? What do you mean? Be more like how THC, if it interacts with other meds, kind of thing? Yes, I will. But so literally thus far, there have been found 0 interactions between THC and other medications. simply because of the administration. The vast majority of medications in the world that we all take at home have to go through the digestive system. So they have to go to your stomach, be broken down by stomach acids, then go to your intestines, where the active ingredients are taken through the intestinal walls into the bloodstream. Whereas marijuana goes through your lungs, usually, unless you're doing edibles. Edibles, we're not even going to go, like, discount edibles in this whole thing. Edibles might. Who the fuck knows? That shit is weird. They're wild. But, THC, because we inhale it, it doesn't go through a digestive process at all. So it's never touching our stomach. It's never touching bile, stomach acid, none of that. It's literally transferred through the walls of your alveoli, of your lung tissue, straight into the bloodstream and straight to your head. And the THC molecule is very unique in that we didn't have to do anything to it to allow it to break what's called the blood-brain barrier. So all of the vessels in your brain, around your brain, are kind of specialized in that all of the ports and channels allowing for certain things to move in and out of the blood walls are extremely specified, very small, very, very specific. Like if you think about, those toys when you're a kid where you'd have like the cutouts of like a triangle and a square and a circle and you'd stick the plug in the right shape. Imagine the shape is like a Stussy symbol written by someone who has Parkinson's. That's how complicated it is. So every single drug in the world that we take that has to affect our brain in some way, like medicines, like Lexapro or something like that, has been fucking chemically edited down to the point of it looks or mimics something else in my body that goes to my brain, a hormone or something, so that when I take that pill, it can break the blood-brain barrier and actually get to my brain and affect me. THC just can. It's kind of amazing. It's almost like it's a natural plant that grows out of the ground that's not poisonous in any way at all. Weird. But yeah, they've literally found no interactions at all with THC and any other mind altering, mood altering, SSRI, so on and so forth, simply because the way that you digest it, whether it's inhaling or taking it through your stomach, is so different. Completely different pathways. There are people in chat in the weed industry, like they work in it professionally, and they might have more details than me, but that's the overall arcing information as a respiratory therapist we've taken in. I think I've told you this, Lizzie, like the most dangerous part about weed is suffocating yourself, obviously, a giant crate of it falling on your head, or smoking really, really hot smoke all the time and just breaking down your throat. Oh, it is being over friendly. No, that's 100%, David. 100% what I mean. I'm just being way too friendly. Like, I'm at the store to buy something and I'm acting like I'm the cashier. Like, that kind of craziness. Absolutely, Lizzie. I mean, always talk to your doctor. And again, edibles, completely different story. Like, edibles are so, can't even speak to them. I don't take them enough. I don't know. They're just weird. Something, dicarby, blah, 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 something, endocannabinoid receptors. Just pick things up, put things down. Yeah. No, it's cool. Sure. That's exactly what you do. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, yeah. And always clean your bong. So the other, I guess I should throw that out there. If anyone's wondering, yes, burning your throat over and over and over is harmful to any fucking part of your body, obviously. But your throat is a mucous membrane. It's different from the outside of your body. It's not meant to be exposed to the elements of heat and extreme cold. So, in my opinion and in my personal experience, the best way to smoke weed is with some sort of little bubbler or a bong. Gives it enough room for the smoke to cool down to a temperature that's not going to cause chronic damage to the mucous membranes of your esophagus over and over and over again. Also, you want to rinse this bitch out at least once a day if you're smoking regularly, because if any of the green weed falls into the water, which it will, there's no if, it just does, it will literally mold in the water, and you smoking out of moldy water, fungal pneumonia, you never get rid of that. Like, you have fungal pneumonia forever. It just flares up. Look, we don't know how to treat it. You don't want to get that shit. Don't do it. Clean your bong. Chemistry, biology lessons better than what my high school could do. I'm not even fucking with you, dude. I try to be the person I needed when I was a kid. That is my goal in life. Like, if I can just be that, because I loved science. I love animals. I love all that stuff. But I had no resource. I mean, we had an encyclopedia. Like, come on, for fuck's sake. Smelly Dog. Oh my god. Smelly Dog. Smelly Dog. What are they feeding you? It's a cow dick. I fed them cow dicks. It's probably what it is. Happy trans visibility. Is it day or week? Yesterday someone told me it was week, but I think it's day. I don't know. I'd like to make it a week. Let's make it a fucking month. Happy Trans Awareness and Visibility Day, by the way, to all my wonderful trans people. This is forever will be a safe place. If anyone makes you feel uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form, please inform me or my mods. My mods are hungry. They like to go after the hate. Don't worry. I thank you, ClassyKatie, and the holes here for teaching me how to use a bong literally right before I got my surgery. Dude, I love being able to share knowledge with people because I want your knowledge too. Like, it's back and forth. Before the engineering, they just used to administer it with alcohol to break the barrier, which is insane to me. We learned about that a little bit when I was in school. Isn't the smoke dangerous? So smoke, the word smoke, the term smoke, is literally just a word for thick, visible, airborne particles in the air. So smoke can be a million different things. It can be cigarette smoke, pot smoke, smoke coming out of a factory. You know, it really depends on what the smoke is from. What are you burning is the most important part of the smoke. Literally, if we want to get to brass tacks, literally inhaling anything that isn't clean, pure-ass mountain air is bad for you. However, our bodies are insanely efficient at cleaning ourselves out as long as you're not chronically attacking your body over and over and you're not giving it that not refurb time, the time to recover, you know? Like, if you're smoking weed out of a little pipe and you're just fucking burning the fuck out of your throat once an hour, every hour, you're not giving your body enough time to heal. That kind of shit. Yeah, it's the particles. It's whatever's getting into the air that causes that thick-ass smoke. And smoke and steam are different, obviously. I'm not assuming you guys are stupid. Just so everyone knows, I'm not talking about steam. It's the cow dicks. Oh, they smell so bad before they eat them. Science. I'll do my own research. Thanks. Sorry, my bad. Amendment 1, the plant fats that are not in some extracts does something. We don't really know what, but it does something. Isn't that fun? Same, it's literally, that's how they studied it, Mega Man 10. Did you read that? I read it way back in the day when I was in college. I was in some biology class and we read this study and it was an ancient study done on some like ancient fucking thousands of year old culture in northeastern Europe, I believe. And because it was a very northern cold culture, they drank lots of soup. Basically everything they consumed was heated up to a very hot temperature to help them warm up and to cook the food. And these we're talking ancient cultures. We're looking at mummies, you know, old ass DNA, had an exponentiated rate of esophageal cancer. So it's not like we can say, oh, it absolutely is the hot temperatures, but it's the strongest correlation ever. And literally, we can't find anything else about weed dangerous. I don't want throat cancer, so I cool it down. It's more pleasant as well. Nemo is no worries, dude. No worries. I will. If I have like a serious question from chat that I don't know, I will absolutely hit you up because I don't like giving. You guys know I'm not gonna fucking bullshit you. You'd know I'm bad at it. Flower extracts, distillate, edibles, tinctures. Distillate before edibles. No shit. Is it? What do they use in edibles? Is it tinctures or is it distillate in edibles? Just curious. Facebook mom groups. God. My mom actually like sighed at me the other day. What did she? I don't know what. I called her a couple weeks ago and she was like, "Have you been on Facebook lately?" I was like, "No." And she was like, "Oh, I wrote something." And I was like, "Okay." Why? No. The last time I went on Facebook was like 6 years ago. And one of my cousins said on Facebook, all liberals deserve to be shot. I didn't go back. We can't treat it well because the fungal... Oh, this is about fungal pneumonia. Mickey is the fungal professor. I'm not a fungus expert in any way, shape, or form. I have a lot of experience in lung transplants, because of fungal pneumonia, but I know nothing about the fungus, so this is more information on it. We can't treat it well, the fungal pneumonia you get from smoking out of a filthy bong, because fungal cells have the same defenses as our own cells, so to kill them would be to harm our own cells. Oh my god, that's amazing. That's kind of fucking, like, fascinating. Fungus is scary. It's alive. That is so weird. Almost every phone call with my mom, she asked if I saw what she posted on there. If you want me to see it, just send it to me. Fuck. Oh, David. We can transplant a lot of things nowadays. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, our cardiac. So when I worked at Johns Hopkins, the cardiac unit was the 8th floor, and it was pretty darn big. It was like one huge U shape. And half of it was lung transplants. And it's fascinating, but also, like, obviously, hi, young heart, I see you. How are you, love? Very depressing. So it's amazing. But the problem is it's so expensive that the regulations they put on lung transplants are asinine. For instance, in order to be considered a successful lung transplant, you need to live for a year after the lung transplant. So what the hospital will do is if you're not doing well, they'll just keep you for a year and then discharge you on day 366. It sucks. They don't work very well. Lung transplants aren't extremely, like, on average, I think people get an extra 3 to 4 years of life on a lung transplant. It's not a great, because the problem is like, this goes for all organ transplants in general. The overlying problem is that it's so rare, if it happens at all, that one system of your body is isolated a problem. You know, kidneys, we transplant those all the time. Those are pretty easy. Stuff like that, like the more small organs that do more general jobs. But you know, when your lungs are fucked because you smoked for 50 years, a lot of other things in your body are fucked other than your lungs. So we might give you a transplant because you're dying of lung cancer, but, like, your arteries are clogged, your heart is calcified. Like, you know, you guys know this. I don't need to tell you what the fuck things do to you. But, yeah. Oh my god, they farted again. It's so bad. I even took them out right before stream to see if they wanted to shit, and they didn't. They smell like horrific dead animals today. Fungus is closer related to animals than plants. That's amazing. They're separate kingdoms, but not all kingdoms are the same distance evolutionarily speaking. Systematics are interesting but frustrating. I think they're amazing. I mean, they blow my mind. So it's the method of ingestion at that point. So this is edibles. Like, this is basically what kind of THC form they put in edibles. That's what I asked. Hot air, even in distillate, is worse for your body than eating decarb, even if it is suspended in food. Unless you're a diabetic eating THC honey by the jar. Don't do that, please. Tinctures, when made properly, can be metabolized almost completely without harm. I always thought it was tinctures that were tinctures used tinks. I don't like that word anymore. Tinks. I thought it was tinks in edibles, honestly, just because they're usually like a fluid and not an oil. Dude, David, it's like a catch-22 because we can't get better at it if we don't keep doing it, but we're doing it shittily right now. And honestly, like, when I talk about my stories, a lot of my stories are really depressing because I worked at Johns Hopkins, which is a very, very nice hospital with a lot of money. They're just bathing in it. So they're one of those hospitals that they have everything. Any medical equipment you can fathom is in Johns Hopkins because either they bought it with the money or, you know, some Arabian prince bought it for them to treat his wife. Like, that happens a lot. You'd be shocked. It's insane. And because of that, if you are a patient that is, you know, dying, like everything is wrong with you and no other hospital in the world will touch you, Hopkins will touch you. So I see a lot of that, like, you know, last-ditch effort kind of cases and stuff like that. So my stories sound jaded. But not many hospitals do lung transplants, to be honest. I think there's a handful in the US that do them right now. Literally, like, a handful of doctors will even do them, which is crazy. But get this. So if you have a history of smoking marijuana, you are not eligible for a lung transplant, but you are if you smoke cigarettes currently because of fungal fucking pneumonia. They don't want to put new lungs in you if you're just going to smoke out of a dirty bong and get fungal pneumonia again. It's crazy to me. Like these are statistics that insurance companies have come up with to say, you know, okay, it's worth it for us to pay for it. Oh yeah, it's fungal pneumonia though. Like I see it all the time. I'm on like weed subreddits and shit like that, and guys will post little clips of themselves smoking out of a bong and the water's black. Not only is yuck, but the taste of that. Like, can you imagine what it smells and tastes like? Oh, it's black. I mean, it looks like ink. I'm not exaggerating. It looks so gross. They do aortic valves sometimes, but I actually think there was just recently one of the first successful human pig aortic valve transplants. I think I read that. Like this person's walking around with pig parts. Water pipes. What do you consider a water pipe? I've got all sorts of little bongs behind me. I don't know anymore. I have no idea, like, what we consider what anymore. None of it makes sense. I don't know. Have they transferred whole pig hearts? No shit. And people actually, like, lived for a decent amount of time? Oh, Lizzie, dude. So, Rock Your Socks, which is one of Zach's mods, she was telling me that a friend of hers, a friend of a friend, you know, someone she met, an acquaintance, would brag and pull out their bong that they had not cleaned in like 10 plus years. The glass was black. You couldn't see anything. It's amazing. Like, you do you, boo-boo. Sure, but I ain't gonna roll that way. Yeah, there was some recent with a pig. I thought it was a valve. Maybe it was a fucking heart. It's amazing. I mean, pigs, we're just mammals. You guys know this. We're just really similar to pigs. Hello, Mayo. How are you? Oh my gosh.
Hi, gay. In the bedroom or just hanging out.
Did you take your joy today? Never forget to take your joy, and I guarantee your day will go as smooth as velvet.
You know, Angel, I've actually heard wonderful things about valve replacement recovery, in that it is nothing like you would think. Like, you know, we always see people who get heart transplants and things like that, like they have to clutch a pillow and they're like splitting in half and everything hurts. But I believe when they do aortic transplants, they actually don't butterfly you at all. They don't split you. They go down under your collarbone, so they don't have to break any bones or anything like that. And they can actually, like, it's so gross, but we can like pull your aorta up from your chest out your neck. And they do it that way nowadays, just to, you know, eliminate the healing time and the stress on the body and all that shit. Oh, did he die recently? I wonder how long he lived, though, because that's still amazing. Okay, science, you're back in good graces. I have mixed feelings on science all the time. It sucks. I mean, a lot of the life-saving maneuvers we use nowadays were developed in Nazi Germany on, like, innocent Jewish people by crazy scientists. David Bennett, 57, died Tuesday at the University of Maryland Medical Center. No wonder I knew about the person. Doctors don't give an exact cause of death, saying only his condition had begun deteriorating several days earlier. Wow. He was the first person to receive a heart transplant from a pig. Oh, he lived for 2 months. But they don't say the cause was the heart. So we will see. Absolutely, Angel. I would not lie to you. I never would, because that's trust. I've heard wonderful things. Usually, honestly, people that get aortic or valve replacement surgery or valve, you know, reconstructive surgery, they don't actually even go to the ICU, which is wild. They go out of surgery and they go straight to the PCU, which, if you're unaware of the levels of hospital care, it usually goes like ICU, intensive care unit. Usually it's like a 1-to-1, like one nurse to one patient, one nurse to two patients, or something like, it's usually one to one. We'll go with 1-to-1. Some hospitals love to mistreat nurses and overwork them, and it's terrible, but it's usually a 1-to-1. Then you go PCU, which is like the step down care from the ICU. And that's usually like one nurse to 3 patients, kind of. Like, you don't need as much care, but you still need a close eye on you all the time. And then there's the floors, which is, you know, you're good. We're going to feed you and make sure you don't shit your pants, but you're good. Usually they go straight to PCU, which is crazy. I mean, says a lot. When a surgical patient doesn't have to go to ICU, it's pretty cool. Live for a month? Can you imagine? It's amazing. Science is beautiful. Could someone stick exclusively with edibles when it comes to THC, or will your body eventually build up a tolerance? I'm always nervous about damaging my lungs with daily use. Your body will build up a tolerance to anything you do with regular use. Caffeine, sugar, THC, no matter what it is. The thing with edibles, you can absolutely only do edibles. Many people, I mean, tons of people nowadays only do edibles because a lot of people are afraid of the smoking factor. Completely respect that. The thing with edibles is it's really hard for myself or anyone to generalize how to use them or what your experience is going to be like because, as you probably know, everyone's digestive system is so drastically unique. Your natural gut biome, which means like the population of bacteria that live in your stomach, are completely unique to you. You usually get it from your mother. And then as you grow, depending on what you eat, what you drink, your lifestyle, where you live, it evolves to you to like digest what the fuck you eat, which is amazing. But because of that, edibles do something different to everyone. For instance, I've eaten a 250 milligram edible chocolate bar and felt exactly zilch. I can eat a 2.5 milligram microdose and go to space. For me, I personally prefer, if I'm going to take an edible, I like to get like a sucky candy. I call them sucky candies, a hard candy, because then the THC is, for the most part, digested sublingually and in the mucous membrane of my mouth, as opposed to my stomach. It kicks in faster and is over with faster. Whereas digestive, I could be high in 3 days or in a half hour. I don't fucking know. I'm a turtle. What up, BDO? How are you, love? Facebook mom style. I love that so much. Oh my god, the dog stinks. Oh. Haunted Victorian child. Let's take a break because these dogs are farting so much and it smells just so bad. They smell so bad. You wanna go potty? Do you wanna go potty? Yeah, there's my girl. My baby girl. Does your asshole smell like a dead animal today? Yeah. These are my poods. Hello. How are you, sweet girl? Thank you, David. It's horrible. I was gonna say it's not that bad. It's pretty bad. Their farts are so bad today. You wanna go? Oh my god, they farted again. Let's go outside. Yeah, you can go shit outside. All right. BRB. Oh my fucking. I wish I could put into words what they smell like. It's unpleasant. Neither of them shit, so they're still just gonna fart me out all day, I think. But well, someday it'll happen. It'll fucking happen. Lord. Gross. Thank you, David. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you stretched and got some water or whatever the fuck. I got a beverage. Ow. I just got a don't drive high, it's the law. Oh my god, that's so funny because yesterday I was literally preaching about how I don't smoke and drive. And a bunch of people in chat were saying like they totally can, and I was like, I just won't. I don't know if I can, but I don't want to know. They've never sharded, but I mean, Lilith is a farty dog. I mean, in the morning, was this yesterday morning? Or the day before yesterday? I woke up to her standing on the bed and like doing the downward dog like stretch where they just stick their ass in there and stretch their back. And I woke up because she was just farting constantly the whole time she was doing it. Her ass faced directly towards me, just. It's like, the fuck? Where does it come from? All you do is eat dog food. I put peppermint oil everywhere, so it just smells like peppermint now. Dude, I mean, Lizzie, like, I might be able to, I can do anything and smoke at this point. I smoke so much weed, like, it's just normal life for me at this point. But I do know for a fact that weed slows down my reflexes. Like, it just does. I'm a little bit slower, just a little bit. And that millisecond could be me hitting a little kid. I live in a neighborhood with a lot of little kids that just, like, run out in the road with soccer balls and shit. It's just, like, not worth it. I might be able to. No shame on anybody. But I ain't gonna hit a kid. That's... It doesn't just kill a kid, like, it ruins everybody's lives. I've thought about it. Honestly, we've had him on the same dog food forever, and Lilith is just the only one. She burps and farts constantly. I think I saw a study that high people don't speed as much as drunk drivers, but there were still some issues with reaction time, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think my reaction time, it wouldn't be so slow that I can't drive. Like, I could totally drive in normal traffic, totally fine. Like, I'm in general a pretty safe driver anyways. But if my reaction, I mean, you don't plan for the things you need reaction time for, right? Like the accidents, the things that are horrific, and that's the things that I'm just like, I can wait 2 hours to not be high. You had to drive high in an emergency once, and that's the thing. Like, I would do it in a fucking emergency. If someone had to go to the emergency room and I had just smoked a bowl, I'd be like, I can get us there. I would be so paranoid and probably be driving 30 miles an hour the entire way, but I could get us there. But yeah, it's just like, I don't need to, and I don't like win some secret fucking like contest in my brain if I pull it off or something. Like, I'm good. I don't like to go anywhere anyways. Who's working from home today and Twitch isn't blocked? This guy. Fuck yes. Dude, my hospital blocked Twitch at a certain point. That was a rough time for me. I started bringing my laptop to work just to watch Twitch at nighttime. Cheers. I mean, Lizzie, there are people who drunk drive regularly. I don't know how they do it. I can barely walk when I drink. Back to the office on Monday. Boo! A lot of people, though, have been telling me, like, Gregarious was telling me the other day that his office, like, he can work at home. They encourage him to work at home as much as he wants. I hope your guys' place does that, because that's some shit. You fuckers. Meebo. What up, lover? Knives, good morning. How are you? Happy Trans Visibility Day. Let your trans lovers know that they're perfect the way they are. You're perfect. And it's nobody's business what's between your legs. Whatever you just sent me won't load. Is Twitter being a cock again? Is it Twitter? Hold on, let me try to load Twitter. Yeah, Twitter's broken. Is it me? It's just a black page. Is it me? It could be. It's me. God damn it. Why is it always me? What's wrong with my browser? I don't know. That's so weird. What in the tit fart? It's literally a black screen. Hold up. Maybe it's Dark Reader. It was. I got it. We good. Stupid. I have to log into Twitter. God, I don't know my password. Oh my god, I guessed right. First time. I have to do the fucking 50 authenticator or whatever. You know. At least I got it so I can see Twitter. That's nice. Give me the link. I clicked. Bitch. Can I watch this? I'm assuming it's safe. Can we watch this, I should say. I'm assuming it's safe. Because, you know, why the fuck would you do this to me? No, I use this add-on called, I think it's called Dark Reader. Yeah, it's called Dark Reader, and it just makes every single website dark mode, even if they don't have dark mode. But sometimes if they have dark mode, it makes it all blacked out, and you gotta edit it up. It's fine. Sometimes the attitude between countries are so interesting. We would never block a site unless it was a security risk here. As long as the work is getting done, it isn't no one's business what's on my second monitor. I agree 100%. At the hospital, I kind of understood blocking social networking sites because what if you were like, on one monitor you were typing notes into a chart and then suddenly like you hit a button that made your cursor skip to Twitch chat and you were like typing really personal information about someone, HIPAA, you know what I'm saying? I can see that, but any other instance, 100% agree, it's weird. Okay, I got it. Let's watch. What a fucking winner. That is just beautiful. Oh, thank you for that. That guy's is now the new definition of heterosexual. 100%. I'm going to normalize it. Yes. Nothing matters if you love a person. A transgender woman is a woman. A transgender man is a man. Period. I love him. I suck a dick for free. Already have. He's fucking great. That's my hero. Knives, I've always had that point of view too, but I was lucky enough to be raised by parents that kind of instilled that in me. My mom was kind of one of those burn the bra 70s hippies. So we were always instilled with like just be grateful, love exists, I guess was kind of the message my mom kind of put into us, you know. Love. Like if you get it, don't be shutting it down for some bullshit in your head, you know. I got to grind up weed. Sorry. I'm going to do it. Not that you care. Haven't we all sucked something for free? You are not wrong. In any way. Judy, how are you, love? Good afternoon. Good time zone to you. Hello, Maddie. How are you? It's beautiful. Yeah, Knives, that was my parents too, which was really nice. And I think a lot of it came from, you know, every generation, I believe, so far as I've experienced, tries to improve upon the generation before it. Like my parents, my grandparents, heavily racist, you know, don't you ever bring home a black man to this house kind of bullshit, you know, nasty shit they would say. And so my mom she was like, you love a slug if you want to love a slug. You find love. So my mom was the complete like flip. She's just like, love everything, love everyone, like love everything, which was really, I mean, when I was younger, we were all like, mom's a fucking hippie. But growing up, it is a nice lesson to have instilled in your brain. It really, there's actually, oh my God, I watched an interview of someone who was talking about their nephew, and they were trying to explain to their young nephew, who was like very young, like 5 or 6, what being gay was. And when they explained what being gay was, the little boy said, wait, so they get to love twice as many people in the world? That's pretty cool. And I'm not quoting it exactly, but it was something along those lines. It was one of the most pure things I've ever seen. Kids are just beautiful. Sometimes kids can be very beautiful. But can babies be racist? Again, my dear Texans in chat, I am so sorry. So sorry. That's the exact face, Knives. That's what my soul is doing every time I see that clip of that fuck. Ugh. Judy just gifted a sub to fucking Momo. You silly fuck. Momo, you know what's up. Butt wizardry, ass mansery, consensual touching. Love. Love. For free? I don't know about that. To get out of paying when I land on someone's property, Monopoly, sure, I've done that. I mean, word. Word. I love Monopoly. It's such a fun game. Oh my God. Have you ever seen a diaper blowout? I mean, obviously you probably have. If anybody here has children, I have a lot of nieces. That's enough birth control right the fuck there when you see shit just bursting out of every seam of a diaper. Babies are wonderful, but I'm trying to catch up on chat. Sorry, guys. My chat did that double thing again, so it looked like I had a lot more chat. I think I'm good. Babies can hate, but like, I don't know. Hating your parents is just so natural. Fucking terrible. Monopoly is the story of oppression. The rich get richer and the poor die. Dude, it really is. we used to play every Christmas, like my mom, just my mom, dad, and my siblings, and it would always last for like 6 hours. But after the first 2 hours, it would just be me and my mom, and we would own everything, and we would just be at a stalemate. Like I could rent her to death, and then she would rent me to death, and then I would rent her to death, and I was like, oh my god, capitalism. All the poor people are dead, and we're just trading fake money back and forth. Weird. Is the point of Monopoly to, like, go to a stalemate? I always thought someone was supposed to win. Isn't someone supposed to win? I don't know. Oh, capitalism. I have no idea. I just really like board games. I think babies are more like, I fucking hate that I'm too warm. 100%. Imagine being a baby. You're just so helpless. You win. I don't think anybody just, well, does anybody, can you win capitalism? I don't know. I don't know. I've never been rich. I don't know what money's like. If you're a person meeting their needs, babies like you. If you're not, babies dislike you. Pretty much how it goes with babies. I feel like that's pretty much like humans. At the most, god damn, your farts are bad. Lilith smells like she's dying on the inside. Oh my fuck, you guys. It's so bad. Why? I need a fan. This palette just does not do the job. Why do you smell like a corpse? Lilith is a literal yes! She's a fucking bioweapon today, my dudes. She's just chilling under my desk, but her farts are like they're chewable. Yuck! Are you dying? It's so bad. I literally sprinkled peppermint oil on the ground so they wouldn't want to lay down there, and she's just laying on it. Chewable. It's like you taste it. That's how bad they are. They're not just smell farts. It's like taste farts. They're just thick, hot. Like she's gonna have a thick, hot shit later. Those kind of farts. It's true, but like once there's no one left to give you any money, like did you win really? Or are you just alone with a bunch of money? I don't think anything would help. I mean peppermint oil is strong as fuck, and that's not helping. She just has a shit brewing, you know? She's got one of those big ones in there, and I don't want to think about it. It was created by Elizabeth Maggie in 1904 as the Landlord's Game, and had a second mode that was removed when Parker Bros got hold of it. At any point in the game, a majority of players could vote to switch to a cooperative mode of play, where the goal was to double the amount of money and assets held by the player with the lowest amount. That would be so much fun! What a dick move! That would be a really fun part of Monopoly. Am I totally out on that? That sounds fun. Can you get that anti-fart spray they have in the hospitals? Dude, I've never seen an anti-fart spray, honestly. I would keep peppermint oil in my pocket or spearmint oil, and you put a dab under your nose or in your mask in a patient's room. That was the only thing you could do to like cover up C. diff or something just nauseating. That's why I have peppermint oil to this day. Monopoly DLC socialism. Seriously. 2 people in the US have the wealth of the bottom 40% of 130 million. I mean, it does make sense. Dude, I read or did I hear it on one of the late night guys? He said, I think it's Bezos. I think Jeff Bezos has more money than the entire country of Greece, which is kind of wild when you think about it. I've never heard of a charcoal biscuit before. They honestly don't like treats. They're not really treat dogs because I made a very strict rule when we got them, like, no human food, period, end of story. So they don't even like human food or anything. They're kind of weird. Silver Wolf.
Hail the dank lord, motherfucker. How you doing, honeybee? How are you?
His ex-wife now has 55 billion. Wow. Wow. That's amazing. Oh, you got C. diff, Drumster? No shit. No pun intended. I am so sorry. How did you get it? Do you know how? That is, I mean, if you don't know what C. diff is, it stands for C. difficile, which is a infection in your colon, which basically makes you shit yourself to death. Like you just have diarrhea until you dehydrate out and die. It's horrific. But if you're in the hospital, you're fine. Like we're gonna hydrate you up and just let it run its course and give you a bunch of antibiotics and whatever. But the smell is so fucking bad. I'm trying to think of anything in the hospital I've smelled worse. I don't know. It's just the worst because it's like the lining of your intestines is sloughing off. It's just like that's probably as deep as I shouldn't have said that. I apologize. It's a rough time. Like it's the shit that would kill you on the Oregon Trail, you know? Yeah, the C. diff smell is just something like I can't really relate it to anything in the world to you. It's just horrific. And it's of no fault of the patient. Like for instance, I think I've told you guys this before. So my surgical unit I worked in, it was kind of shaped like a figure 8. So it was like a circle of patient rooms, nurses station, and then a circle of patient rooms. And I worked night shift. So usually it wasn't full on night shift because during the day, you know, people come out of surgery, go to the ICU, and then if they do well in a couple hours, we push them down. We don't want you to stay in the ICU. It's super expensive. And so when I'd come in at nighttime, what we do is we shuffle the patients so all the nurses could kind of be together, help each other. So we're not like spread out across this huge unit and you have to like scream down hallways to get help. But if you had a patient with C. diff, nobody gave a fuck. You were on the polar opposite end of the unit by yourself in the dark, and no one came to ask if you wanted help. You had to scream. It's just because it permeates everything. It permeates your clothes, your hair, everything. It's just heat fiber. It's so bad. I'm so sorry you had it. I had an upper respiratory infection and the antibiotics. Oh no. Dude, so you probably know this now, Drumster, but this is for anyone. Anytime you are put on antibiotics, I highly suggest you eat 1 to 2 high quality yogurts a day or take a probiotic pill. Because what antibiotics do, we've talked about this before. I've drawn diagrams, my psycho self for you guys, but an biotic is life. Anti-life. So an antibiotic's going to kill a lot more than just the invasive bacterial infection or whatever's going on in your body. It's going to kill all the natural flora that keeps your pussy healthy and the inside of your pee-pee hole healthy and your mouth healthy. So if you don't replace that natural flora with fermented foods like yogurt or a probiotic or pickles or, you know, something, you can get thrush, yeast infections, all sorts of nasty shit. C. diff. Like it puts you basically at a really high risk for other infections because you don't have anything protecting yourself. I know, David, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said the intestinal thing. That's my bad. Is it like a dead raccoon mixed with green elephant shit? Dude, elephant shit smells like hay. They smell like horses. Believe it or not. It's kind of crazy. They just smell like horses. It's kind of like shit mixed with, if you've ever like driven past a hot rotting animal on a highway in the summertime and that smell just like gets sucked into your car and for 1 minute you're like, what? And then it's gone. It's like that plus like hot sour shit. And then a little mix of whatever the fuck that human's made of. It's always a little different, I feel like. Oh, knives, that's lovely. Amber, you know better. Come on. I was told years ago when I found out that I have to be 20 in Japan to be considered adult until tomorrow. Wait, what? You have to be 20? Really? Interesting. So they can't join the military or anything until they're 20? Oregon Trail, thanks for the flashbacks. You're welcome. Do you have cholera now? Nah, dude. Where I grew up, there's just deer all over the place. Like literally, when I took driver's ed, the driver's ed teacher told us there's 2 types of people in the world: the type that have hit a deer and the type that will hit a deer. And I was like, wow, you're a redneck. And then I hit 5 deer in 2 years. It's crazy. So there's always dead deer on the side of the road, and in the summer they just like rot in the sun, and it's fucking hot dead animal rot. Oh, I mean, I'm talking that rotted one, like the deer that's probably smeared across the highway, like that one. Ooh, fun FYI, pickle flavored cotton candy tastes like Birdie Bot's every flavored beans. Really? Wait. Rewind. Pickle cotton candy? What in the fucking hellscape did that come from? I love me a pickle, but why? Oh, they're changing it, Judy. No shit. Huh. Weird. It's very interesting. It tastes like a mistake. I mean, I just don't. Pickle flavored cotton candy? Why? What did we do wrong to get to deserve it, though? Dead Cal, how are you, love? Why? I love pickles. Like, I'm a huge pickle fan. But what? Was it sweet as well? Or was it just like dilly? Because I've had shit that's like pickle flavored, but literally it just tasted like a dill orgasm in my mouth. I was like, oh wow, I ate dill, sick. That's all it was. It didn't have like that vinegar. But I think it's the vinegar part with the cotton candy that's really fucking with my brain. Dude, pickle juice is delicious. It's more hydrating than normal water because of the sheer amount of electrolytes in it. It's kind of crazy. And electrolytes just a fancy word for salt, but salt covers a lot of molecules. I was like 25 when I realized pickles were cucumbers. Oh my God, Lizzie, I have the weirdest story about that. Way back when I worked at Lowe's. Fuck, you smell bad. I worked at Lowe's when I was in high school for like 7 years. And we had a garden center. And in the summertime, everyone would try to work in the garden center, obviously, because you just get to hang out outside all day. It's amazing. And I had a guy come down from Canada one time because we were right on the border of Canada. And he straight up got my manager because he was so upset with me because he wanted pickle plants. I didn't even correct him. I just showed him the pickle cucumber variety, like the little starts. That's all I did, but it says fucking cucumber on the card because they're cucumbers. But right underneath it says for pickling. And he thought I was calling him stupid. He was irate with me. And I've never forgot it before. Like, this dude from Canada he wanted pickle plants so bad. He wanted to get me in trouble with my manager for not showing him where the pickle plants were. Customer service, my dudes. It's an extreme sport. Pickled carrots taste like hot dogs. I don't think they taste like hot dogs. I've had tons of pickled carrots. It's basically like a carrot, a vinegary carrot. A hot dog? Who said that? Who told you that? Think artificial dill flavor and cotton candy texture with the aftertaste of kind of sweet. Okay, that's not terrible then. No, that's not. I think the vinegar really was the one that was. There are just some things that we can do, and I firmly believe we shouldn't. Like, why? He just wanted his pickle. He can keep it. Stop it. His pickle plants can fuck off. So the workers at Kroger's are striking. So Kroger's put up a site to hire temporary scabs. They got flooded with over 27,000 fake applications. Shut the fuck up. That's beautiful. You've never eaten a pickle? You've never had a Bloody Mary? Do you guys not do pickles? I'm trying to think. I don't think I saw pickles really, but I mean, when the fuck do you see pickles? I love vinegar. I don't, but like apple cider vinegar, no. I don't want to drink vinegar, but like vinegary things like pickles and stuff, I'm all about. Salt and vinegar chips, I'll get down. My mouth's watering thinking about it. I love Bloody Marys. I don't know why, but it's not like I won't get down on fucking V8 with vodka in it. That's not the Bloody Mary I want to eat. I want to eat the one that's like salsa. Like I'm drinking salsa. It's very spicy because I'm hungover. This is the only reason this is happening in my life. I need the kick. There used to be this place in my college town called Bayou on the Bay, and they had a Bloody Mary bar on the weekends. So on Sundays, you could go and watch all the football games all day and fucking just load up on Bloody Marys. And they had in-house jalapeno-infused vodka. It was so good. Oh, Lizzie. I mean, you'd probably love. I mean, literally a Bloody Mary. Like, if you get a good one, it's made with like Tabasco and some hot sauce and shit in there. And then what they do is they put a toothpick spear in the glass that's usually got a bunch of pickled weird things on it, like a pickle, a pickled onion, sometimes a chunk of bacon. I don't fucking know. And then they rim the glass with salt and is it paprika or like cayenne pepper usually mixed into it? So it's like that salty, vinegary, sweet. I mean, it's just the most perfect thing if you're hungover. Too much tomato juice. And I think, honestly, I'm not a big fan of tomato juice. That's why I like it spicy. Like, I kind of make it salsa-y, because then it doesn't taste like it. Dude, you go up to Canada, they make something similar called a Caesar, and it's made with clamato juice, which, if you don't know what that is, you're living a great life. It is a canned beverage made of tomato juice and clam juice. I'm just going to put a little insert here. Clams don't produce a juice. We don't milk a clam. So I don't know what the fuck that juice is, but why? Nah. Nah. Oh yeah, David. That's a Caesar is very popular in Canada. People fucking love a Caesar, and it's clamato. It's canned. It's literally looks exactly like this. It's like a tall ass can, and it's clam juice and tomato juice. Again, clams are not milked. I don't know where this is coming from. I think they squeeze a bunch of clams of their piss water and put it into some tomato juice and call it good. I have no fucking idea. Do mollusks piss? Clam teat juice. Can you imagine a little clam like, boop, 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 boop. Come, my little clam babies. I could see it. So they like cook the clams and then put the boiled clam water into tomato juice? That's how you make a broth, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not trying to be sassy. I don't cook. I don't really like cooking. It's boring. Oh, so it's like the hot dog water of clams. All of it's still gross. And I like clams. Pineapple cider. I've never had that. I love pineapple, though. I'm a huge sucker for pineapple. I will eat an entire pineapple, and my mouth will be, like, bleeding and raw, and I'll be like, I don't think anymore. There's still another piece. It's terrible. A hot dog water drink. Clam water. Clam water, clam juice. I don't care what you call it. It all sounds real gross to me. To each their own. Go get yours, Canada. You fucking drink your clam nipple teat juice. I grew up oystering and clamming and stuff. Like, I have no aversion to seafood, but in no way did I drink the juices. They have it on tap at this point near our house. No shit. I'm not going anywhere near unmasked people with BA2 spreading now. Oh my god, is it bad where you are? Do you guys have a lot of cases? I haven't heard anything about the strain being like super dangerous or anything, but obviously everyone still needs to be cautious. Excuse me, miss, may I have a bottle of your finest clam juice? Yes. I do delight in mollusk piss. Oh, is that a bit of sand tearing my molar out? Yummy. Do you know what would absolutely make this more enjoyable? Take that strange nightshade fruit and puree it and stick it in the clam teat juice. Yummy! We're weird creatures. Pineapple mango cotton candy has a decent pineapple flavor. I love pineapple and mango. Those are probably my two favorite fruits in the whole world. I would eat so many more mangoes if they weren't such a pain in the ass to eat. They're so messy. Like it sounds like a potion in The Little Mermaid. Like, this will bring your father's dick back to life. Ah, clam juice. I don't know. It's crazy. It's weird that we just juiced clams and made it normal. It's going to be bad soon everywhere, I think. I don't know. The reporting isn't as great as it used to be. Well, it's like everyone's trying to ignore it. I feel like a lot of, especially government officials, they're like, it's over. It's over. Don't think about it. It's over. And it's like, who told you that? No one told me that. The hospitals still have COVID patients in them. What? It's less. What did the potion do again? It brings your father's cock to life. Clam juice. I don't. Trident strikes me as a sterile fish. I don't know. Don't fish literally just like come into the wind and hope it latches onto an egg or something? Or they like find some eggs and they just jerk off on them? So basically, like Ariel's mom laid an egg, and then the dude with the trident was like, "Yeah, you spherical bitch!" Jerked off on his daughter, and then she was born. Interesting. That is. I feel bad for people that can't fit an N95. Like, there's so many people with beautiful beards that just can't get it over their face. I feel bad, but I get it. Vanity sucks, but it's real. Mango flavored licorice. Really? Please don't be Twizzlers. Oh, that's going on my wish list immediately. Bless you. That's a good brand. I've had their black licorice. It's really, really moist. Spreading like, is it spreading like crazy in Europe and Asia where vaccination rates are far higher? Is it spreading like in terms of just like people popping up with positive results or people being hospitalized? I'm just curious. I haven't looked into it, and I haven't talked to my buddy Neuro who works for the US CDC, which, you know, he's a wonderful person. The organization is difficult. I'm like 90% sure that Ursula is Ariel's real mom. I've thought about that my whole fucking life. I'm not shitting you. I agree. Wholeheartedly, I've thought about that. Oh, are Triton and Ursula supposed to be siblings? Really? But what? Is it racist to ask why she's half octopus? I mean, and technically, if you think about it, Ursula would literally rule the ocean. Octopus are insanely intelligent compared to a goddamn scaly ass fish. What? No. Octopus, like, what? We're pretty sure they come from another planet at this point. They're insane. From what I know, countries with high vaccination rates have very low hospitalization rates. And that's personally what I've heard. My mom still works in the hospital trying to retire. And I know a couple of nurses who are still working. So I asked them, like, what's your ratio? Are they on vents? You know, just to get a personal feel for it. Ursula for Queen, I mean, I'd vote for an octopus. They're stupid intelligent. Intelligent is the 3-year-old, right? And then you like smack a person onto it. I don't know. Could be potential. I see potential is all I'm saying. We can't find one that fits my husband, and he doesn't want to shave. Beards make it hard. I'm thinking about just buying a respirator, but they're not cute. Let's make cute respirators, Katie. Dude, for real, though. Razer made one. Like, Razer, like, the computer company, literally designed one. But it looks like something out of, like, Pitch Black or something. Like, I am a vain girl. Can I not get something in maybe lavender with a peacock feather across it or something? I don't know. Come on. Give it to me. Let me bedazzle it. I have gems and super glue. I would. Oh, is it bad? Did the Razer one turn out to be terrible? I just saw it. I didn't read anything about it. Dyson made one? No shit. And it's bad. Wow. What do you mean by worse? Like terrible to wear, or it's doesn't work? Fewer serious hospitalizations here. Good. Basically, the number of ICU patients dramatically lower than compared to the infection rate. That's basically what I've heard. Exactly the same, David. Yeah, which gives me hope. Because, I mean, what more can we do? We're vaccinated, we're boosted, we try to stay away from people. Those who are immunocompromised and can't get vaccinated don't even leave their house anymore. Like, there's nothing else we can do, really. But it has RGB. Can you imagine how annoying that would be under your eyes? It'd be literally like, hold up. Imagine that this is our life now. I don't want to live this way. That seems like a bad idea. Wow. It is. My eyes are seeing colors now. Maybe don't put RGB in your eyes. The Dyson one I saw described as your own personal super spreader event. That's real bad. This is the tweet. It says, okay, here's a technical breakdown of why the Dyson Zone air purifying headphones, quote, quote, aka the snot cannon, aka the wearable super spreader event, is such a staggeringly bad idea and a significant danger to public health if it is allowed to be sold. And that's a long tweet. I will not read that to you guys because I don't want to force you to listen to me talk that much, but Jesus fuck. Yucky. The advertisement shows particulates flying all over the place. What the fuck? What? I don't. My eyes are still seeing colors. What are these people? I don't know, man. There's no answer to dumb. Like, what do you do about dumb? How did they get away with making what? Dyson has a lot of money, and I'm gonna be honest. I have a Dyson vacuum, and it's fantastic. What the fuck? Meebo, thanks for the biddies, you silly fuck.
Let's smoke pot about it. I can't handle this world anymore.
I love my Dyson. This is actually my second Dyson vacuum because a guy I dated back in the day took mine, motherfucker. They're amazing. If you own a dog that sheds, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, if one of you's had a bad experience, I've had nothing but good experiences. Like, the Dyson vacuum will do it. They're incredible. I just tried to light my bong with my mouse, so... What the fuck? Cheers. Cheers, merman. Hydrating is good. You silly fuck, Meebo.
Hail the dankness. Do you want to build a snowman?
'Cause we don't talk about Bruno. Hey, so those of you who have watched Encanto 20 times like I have, do you think Mirabelle actually has a gift? Dyson vacuums work great. They did not engineer the mask well. No, I mean, if it's literally, it sprays people in front of you with something. What? I just don't... The fuck? Okay, what do you think it was, though? Because I didn't know. I've literally watched that movie so many times at this point. The music's fantastic and the movie's so beautiful, and I cry every time. Don't judge me. I love Disney. But I've had a couple different theories throughout my watchings, and I finally, like, Googled it and read a bunch of other theories online. And I wanted to know what your guys' is. Because I kind of had one, and I was, like, kind of right, I guess, according to, like, the majority of overarching theories on the internets. If you haven't seen Encanto, it's a very beautiful, magical movie. It's one of the newer ones on Disney. It's gorgeous. It's placed in Colombia. Colombia! Is being nosy, try-hard, and annoying a gift? Yes, because you could also flip those around. Nosy could be caring. Try-hard could be, I just had the word and it went away. Determined. And annoying could just be passionate. It all depends on who you're asking. And how fucking negative they are and who's pissed in their Cheerios. I'm very annoying to some people. My, like, passion for shit is extremely overbearing to some people. I respect it. It's cool. But to me, I'm just passionate. And I like passionate people, too. Mirabelle has the gift of keeping the house together and succeeding Abuela. That was my theory. Literally, that was my theory. If you watch the movie, the whole time, she's the only one that ever actually speaks to the house. No one ever even acknowledges the house, kind of. You know, like, at the very beginning, she's like, oh, I was decorating the house isn't going to decorate itself, and the floor tiles tinkle. Nobody in the room notices the tinkling tiles except Mirabelle the entire time. I think she's, like, bonded to the house. And then at the end of the movie, spoiler, I'm not going to say it, but you know what's up. She doesn't just get a bedroom. That's my theory, but I've seen it a lot. It is hard to think through the thoughts. Stop it, David. I think animation's superior. I wish they'd make more animated shit, to be honest. Mirabelle has the gift of keeping the house together and succeeding. That's what I thought. Abuela has the door despite not having powers, and I think that is Mirabelle's role. So this is the other thing, though. The candle is not there at the end. And I thought that the candle was the grandmother's gift. Like she, you know, if you watch the movie, there's like the flashback with the candle and everything. And then after all the shit storm, the candle's gone. My theory is that Mirabelle is now the candle, or like embodies the candle's spirit or something, because they no longer need like the grandmother or whatever. I don't know. That's like that's where I got the secession from in my mind. But they don't really tell you, and I kind of fucking love it. I love this movie. I think Encanto is definitely one of the best things to come out of Disney in a really long time. Is landlord? Holy shit, her gift is Monopoly Queen. That's really fucking good. Oh my god, Lizzie, do you have a favorite yet? Or one that you've just, I mean, you're not gonna have a favorite until you've watched them all 50 times. Obviously, you're an adult. But do you have one you've just really, like, bonded with or stuck with? Landlady Mirabelle? It does. I love the name Mirabelle. It's a beautiful name. One day I'll watch Encanto. It's a good one, but I mean, it's a Disney movie sing-songy one. So you gotta be, like, in the mood, I guess. I love Disney movies like that because for me, it's like putting on one long music video. And I'm into that. Oh, Howl's Moving Castle's so good. I love Howl's Moving Castle. It's fantastic. I have a calcifer, my little calcifer right there with the little soot sprites. Big fan. Luisa's best. I love Luisa. I really like oh my god, hold on. Isabella. I really like her, to be honest. The moment she like blossoms her little cactus and then just goes on a fucking tirade and starts growing drugs and poisonous plants all over her room, like I felt that spiritually. That was like finding Hot Topic for the first time. Oh, here's a breakdown of the issues with the Razor Mask. Oh. Thank you. That chick has titty. Boobs! Oh, Umbrella Academy news? No, is it bad? Did they cancel it? Oh my god, for retail? The fuck? Go buy a lottery ticket. That's incredible. Thank you for the follow. Palaran, welcome to my channel, welcome to my stream. My name's ClassyKatie. It's fucktabulous to meet you. Take my breath away with tradition, my fucked up family today. Welcome to the classiest place on earth. I invite you and your brother to take your pants out, place your hand above your gels, and enjoy your time here on the stream of pants on the fire. I invite you to do the same. Embrace your goddamn nudity, motherfluffer. Oh, my back cracked. That was great. Oh my god, boobs. I wasn't kidding when I just couldn't. Boobs! Everybody loves boobs. Ugh. Isabella's rebellion should have been a goth phase, full-on Morticia style. I mean, I think that's as hard as she went for Columbia in the 50s. Like, the whole, like, dyeing her dress and being like, fuck it. I loved it. Like, I love that she just got sass. And arguably, and this is just my personal opinion, she kind of was sacrificing more than anyone in the family. Like, sure, Louisa was crying because she couldn't lift up donkeys, but bitch was about to marry a stranger for her Nana to make babies that she didn't want to marry. And what? Ew. Ugh. Never. I could love you till the end of the world and I would not marry someone for you. I don't think I could do it. Oh, I know. Bubble is just so fucking good, though. I love it. Like, the snot faces are just incredible. We stand trans. It's trans visibility. Is it Trans Visibility Day? I don't want to say it wrong. I believe it's called Trans Visibility Day, but happy Trans Visibility Day to all my wonderful trans women and men and everyone in between in chat. This will forever, Katie can't speak, forever remain a safe place for you, period, end of story. If you ever feel uncomfortable on account of something I said or my chat, please let me or my mods know. My mods are very hungry. My pants were off already. I mean, welcome home. You're welcome. It's really cold here. I'm wearing leggings, but what do you do? It's fucking cold. What up, Cece? How are you? Thank you. I tried to. I watched a Manny MUA video this morning, and he did like this crazy ass cotton candy makeup colors, and I was like, I'm inspired. So I literally have the rainbow on my eyes, but you can't really tell on the bottom. I tried to do a rainbow. Which one's an American viewpoint? Which one? Mine? Help! They say that a scene of I am American, painfully so. So please shame me. They say that a scene of Mirabelle telling on Isabel as a child was removed, which could have been a good building block for their hatred. I agree. Like, it really seemed bizarre. This, like, they just kept saying shit like Isabella's like, ever since you were born, you've done nothing but ruin my life. And it's like, what? Though? When? I have a lot of siblings, and I don't have hate for any of them like that. Jesus. And a lot of them are quite shit-tastic. Marrying some stranger isn't a big sacrifice in a lot of cultures. It's an expectation, 100%. No, I'm aware of it. I wouldn't say I know. I could never put myself in that place. And it is understandable, but from my viewpoint, like, I don't even want a stranger to brush past me in an aisle of a grocery store. I can't fathom bonding myself to someone. I don't know. But I do understand. It's a very privileged point of view. And then Austin shows up. Motherfucking Austin. Just kidding. How are you, love? Isabella was basically the model child that didn't live an independent life in exchange of being perfect until Mirabella's interaction. She reminded me of, like, the, if you've ever read about kids raised by narcissistic parents, usually there's, like, the golden child, and then there's the scapegoat child. There can be a lot of children in between that are also fucked up. But the narcissistic parent will always have, like, the child that they compare all the other children to, like, why can't you be more like blank? And then they'll have the scapegoat child, like, that's the one that all the problems, everything falls on. It's literally Isabella and Mirabelle, and then there's poor donkeys in the middle, like, I'm weak, help! It was makeup palette, we're good. Hello, Ninja Monkey, how are you, love? That's right, go fart elsewhere. Ooh, is audio desyncing? Is it for anybody else? Vomiting? Boo. I puked up a lot of mucus from my nose today, but that's pretty much every day. It's great. Today is Thursday, you psycho. Please tell me it's Thursday. Oh, thank fuck. I was like, I have RP in an hour if it's not Thursday, and I am screwed. I mean, I can only speak to my experience with my parents. I don't know. Is it? Do they? I don't know, man. It's hard for me to say because I have so many siblings. I couldn't even say if my parents really did that. Like, there's definitely siblings of mine that are obviously doing much better than the other ones. But I don't know if we ever had that. I didn't feel that pressure from my parents, but they weren't really home. We were very much like latchkey kids. Audio is good? Okay, just making sure. Sometimes, you never know. Go XLR can have a little fuck moment. Well, we've been having windstorms here. I live in Denver, and the wind has been, I can hear it, like, slamming into my house. So I'm kind of, like, just on the edge of waiting for my internet to take a shit. It's like here, I constantly hear CK saying, why can't chat just be more like David? I mean, I'll stop saying it when y'all start listening. Duh. Functional families only exist in movies. I don't think they're real. I think you're kind of right. I think, like, function is kind of a false narrative we society, like, created as a goal to achieve, but, like, it's impossible because people aren't functional. Like, we're all a mess. And that's not a dig on you or me. We just are. It's basically like finding someone whose mess isn't the same as yours, but, like, so you know you're not just, like, imploding together and you can kind of complement each other's mess. It's basically it. Hello, Meliorated. How are you, love? And OBS had an update this morning as well, so that's been a fun little in the back of my head. Why can't chat just be more like David and Liz? I mean, same though. I mean, don't be me. I hear that a lot. Don't be me. I have that friend that has a functional family, and I tell them, is this like an episode of Fact or Fiction? Dude, get this. I've had a fair amount of relationships in my life. I'm kind of not like a ton. Every man I've dated does not have a father. And I've not aimed for that. It just happens. Not one of them have a dad. They're either dead or absent. My dad's dead too. I think dads are like fake news. I don't know though. Some of you out there claim to be dads. I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't know if it's real. It's very bizarre. But I've never I've had a couple like girlfriends in my life. Girlfriends, not like romantic partners. I have had romantic partners or girls, but not these ones. They're usually just as fucked up as I am. That will have like this loving relationship. They'll call their dad and give him hugs and like hugs, I guess. And I'm like, are they fucking though? Gross. No, Katie, that's just called normal parental child intimacy, you sick fuck. I didn't get that. My kid today had a nerve to tell me that I had to clean his room and I was his servant. Oh my fuck, that's beautiful. I have a funny story. I called someone, well, I didn't call anyone a servant when I was a kid, but I don't know how, I think I was like 4 or 5. I was really, really little. My mom told me this story. So every Christmas when I was younger, all the women in my family, because there's so few of us, would go out to lunch around Christmas. Like, we all kind of live spread out. So around Christmas, we'd get together and go to some fancy place down in Seattle. And so we're at some fancy ass restaurant and I dropped a fork on the ground or something and my mom got up to get it and I stop her very firmly and I look her in the eye and go, "Don't worry, Mom, the servants will get it." I don't remember saying this, but it definitely sounds like something sassy little fuck twat Katie would say out loud. She made me clean the floor under our table, by the way. My mom was like, "Oh shit, no, you won't be like that." I've learned to absolutely loathe beyond belief fact or fiction. What is that? One story came up as fact, and I looked into it, and it was nothing like it was presented, and it was very shitty way. You want to know a show that kind of does that is very popular? And this is no shade on anyone, but Adam Ruins Everything is kind of hit or miss. I don't know. He's funny, but I watched the show and a lot of it was medical stuff. And he straight up said misinformation, like, Facebook information or like Instagram post information. I was like, hmm. Or this is my favorite when a show that's trying to come off as very informed and intelligent and matter of like, actually, they use the some people reportedly have said. Some people is not a reference material. Sorry. Or like a study said. I can't stop it. Stop it. Hello, Alan. How are you, love? Kids are honest beyond belief. It's amazing. The story was a comic artist drew his own murder in panels by the publisher, which is cruel to both the publisher and the artist, because the publisher was one of the few comic publishers of the era who wasn't super exploitive of his staff, and the artist had mental health problems and committed suicide. Sad. Oh, that's so fucking tragic. Yeah, it kind of felt agenda-ish, or maybe just like he picked the cooler sounding part of the fact and just left out half of it. I don't know. It was weird. You should be in a room with me when I watch Bible documentaries. Oh. I couldn't watch one. Having read the Bible, I just can't do it. It's too boring. Lots of people are saying, no, I can't with that. Like, you just discredit yourself immediately. The some people, exactly. The some people, lots of people, a study, some studies. Does it take a lot of effort to say a study done at Harvard and then put in parentheses the little reference material? I don't know. I did it for a lot of years in college, so I get I'm kind of a snob about it. But if you're gonna spout science shit, like fucking maybe learn scientific method. I don't know. Austin, no crucifixion at all. None whatsoever. I think you should enjoy what you want to enjoy. Life is miserable enough. If you can find pleasure in anything that's legal, consensual, safe, like get it. Get it, do it, get it done. Lots of people are saying they're not wearing masks and are just fine. COVID seems to be fake. Some studies have shown that wearing a mask suffocates you and kills you by the end of the day. Yeah, I can't. Just stop it. It's fine if you don't want to find reference material, but don't speak on shit you don't know anything about if you're not going to do it the right way. It's people on Twitter who may or may not want their names attached to what they said in a newsletter going to 250,000 people, including pretty much all the people working in the industry. I understand that, but I think it's a little bit different when you're talking about like things that could kill people if you're wrong, I guess. Like, for instance, I had a biology teacher when I was in college who straight up tried to tell my class that every night while you're sleeping, your lungs shut down and collapse. That's called atelectasis. You die. Your lungs shut down, and first thing in the morning, when you take a first breath, if you really listen, you can hear your alveoli pop open, one by one, like little bubbles. A tenured professor at my university told a class of 300 children this. That kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? That's not real. That is a whole load of bullshit. Stop it. No. That kind of shit bothers me. Like, don't. You have, like, it's kind of like the responsibility of the position, you know? You are a professor. You have a responsibility to not spew bullshit into these young minds. And I guarantee there's a few people from my class to this day who think your alveoli pop open in the morning like tiny bubbles, and they're listening for it. And they probably listen for it every morning, and they're wondering why they can't hear it. That's because it's death if that happens. Stop it. Yeah, if your chest is crackling or popping, that's actually a notable breath sound that we would note in a chart in the ICU. It could be fluid buildup in your lungs. It could be congestive heart failure, pneumonia, atelectasis. I could go on. It's not normal. You always, no matter what, as a human being, have a residual volume of air in your lungs at all times. Even if you exhale as hard as you possibly can, there's always a residual volume, which keeps your lungs inflated and nice and poofy. Because if you didn't, they'd go and stick together. Like, have you ever seen like a balloon that was inflated for too long, like get deflated, and it kind of like crinkles up into a misformed, like disgusting alien creature, and it's stuck together? That's what your lungs would do. You no. What? What? Rails are bad. A collapsed lung, seriously, you have lobes. You have different lobes in each lung. And one of your lungs is actually smaller than the other lung to make room for your heart. It's crazy. And each lobe of lung tissue is made up of microscopic little bubbles called alveoli. And the alveoli serve as the surface area for oxygen and CO2 transfer to your blood. It's amazing. It's called an AA gradient. We won't go there. Disgusting math. But if those, I mean, they're moist and wet, and there's a sac around your lungs, and there's a surfactant between your lungs and that sac attaches to your diaphragm, and that surfactant keeps your lungs so they can inhale when your diaphragm pulls down or relaxes, and there's a whole system in there going on to keep your lungs fucking open all the time. What the fuck? I was irate. What a bad teacher. She was a bitch, too. Ugh. I mean, if you just don't know something, like, just shut your fucking mouth. It's so easy. Watch. Amazing. Moist sacs. It's a lot of moist sacs. It's pretty sick. When I was in 4th grade, I had a really, really cool teacher. Her name was Mrs. Adams. She was my teacher. I've told you guys about her. She brought in the owl pellets for us to dissect out of her own yard. Like, she was a really, really cool teacher. She was like 80-something, just didn't want to quit teaching because she loved it. And she let my mom bring in body parts. So my mom went down to pathology, and pathology gave her a pair of healthy lungs, a pair of smoker's lungs, like cigarette smoke, like chronic cigarette smoking for 50 plus years, I think, lungs, and then a heart, a human heart. But what they did is at the base of the heart, they kept it together and they sliced it so it would open like a book, but it was still held together at the base. So you could see you could see the mitral valve. You could literally peel it open and see all the tendon. It was really fucking cool. She brought him in my class and we all got to play with him. This is the part that stuck with me. This is how I like can visualize alveoli. So if you've ever like looked on your nose and just like pushed your nose up and seen those little blackheads just like boop 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 out of your tiny ass pores on your nose, you can do that to a smoker's lung, but it's tar that comes out. So it literally like the difference between the smoker's lung and I'm sure you guys have seen pictures. They've been in commercials for years. But if you looked up close to them, smoker's lung look like they're covered in freckles. And if you take the lung tissue and just like squeeze it together, a bunch of black spaghetti strings come out. And that's like years and years and years and years of tar buildup from chronic damage that was not allowed to heal from cigarette smoking. It was wild. But the tar, basically what it does is the tar component of cigarette smoking coats the alveoli and collapses them. And once the alveoli is collapsed, it can't inflate anymore. They're like flobbly and they don't have that rigidity anymore. And so that's essentially how you get emphysema or COPD, is long-term that. A good experiment to do is take the biggest breath into your body you possibly can, like you're going to hold your breath, you know? The biggest. And now, while still holding this, breathe on top of it. That's what it's like to have emphysema or COPD. It's crazy. It's wild. Ooh, your internet died? Are you back? Am I back? Am I here? Oh, God. Dude, Austin, I am so the same. 100%. I'd much rather be like, I'm an idiot. Please tell me everything you know. I specifically tell people, like, treat me like I'm 5. I don't want people to assume I know anything because I want the details. Like, I want all the shit. I'm all about it. I love people's passion about shit. Even if I'm not, like, interested in it, it's cool to me. Just to hear someone pass. It is? Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Thank you. I was worried. You never know. We do have a really bad windstorm, so it could. A McPlant? Is that real, though? Is it like a plant-based burger? No, I have not. I'm not a huge fan of fake meat. None of it tastes like real meat, and it's kind of spongy and weird. I heard a quote that goes like, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room, 100%. There's something about that, like, with wisdom, like the wisest man knows he knows nothing, or something like that, yeah. The moment you think you know everything, you stop learning. Like, I'd much rather be like, I know nothing about lungs. Tell me everything? Because what if they tell me something I don't know? That's cool. I heard a quote that I fucking, sorry, I read it. Yeah. That feeling when you sit back and recognize that the streamer is way more knowledgeable and intelligent than you are. It's pretty nice, honestly. I mean, thank you for the very wonderful compliment. I wouldn't compare intelligent, though. Like, I'd never say I was smarter than anyone else, just, like, different. Because, like, I've been friends with, like, computer science majors when I was in college and shit, people that do coding and stuff, and that, to me, is utterly mind-blowing. They talk to computers. Like, there's a language to speak to a computer, and they learn it. And one of my good friends, Trevor, when I was in college, he would put on Lady Gaga, because apparently that was the music. He could literally just zone out, tone out completely. This was a metal-loving, like, metal guitarist man. But Lady Gaga, he could completely, like, blank out of his head, and he would code for, like, 6 hours. That, to me, is just genius shit. I could never wrap my head around it. But thank you. I don't mean to, like, be a dick. Sometimes I am a dick. I just try not to be. No, you will not get the THC oil spaghetti. So when you smoke, so there's so many different things between a cigarette and weed, the weed plant. Cigarettes like have a lot of them nowadays. A lot of the big brands, Marlboro, I know still has it. A couple brands, they actually put fiberglass in the filter. So that when you inhale the smoke, microscopic pieces of fiberglass will pierce parts of the mucous membrane in your mouth and under your tongue, making you absorb more tobacco faster, kind of like chew. Chew also has fiberglass, microscopic. We're not talking like insulation in your walls. It's microscopic pieces that cut your skin so that you're absorbing more tobacco. There's like preservatives in it, the tar, shit like that. That's burning as well in the cigarette versus weed is like just the plant. As long as you're not literally suffocating yourself in weed smoke, your body is able to, as long as you're healthy, like, in general, healthy person, you're drinking water, you move, you breathe, you got, like, you get your fucking respiratory system getting every once in a while, you can pretty much, metabolize and oxidize through whatever damage. The only damage that is hard to do that with is the burn damage on your esophagus. I know I say it all the time, but that's the one. Seriously, they're still doing studies on it today because they've looked at mummies from like thousands of years ago from cold weather climates who ate lots of hot soup, lots of hot beverages, and they had exponentiated rates of esophageal cancer. And so it's not like we can say heat causes esophageal cancer, but we can look at this like you drink something over 160 degrees, that is the exact degree temperature that can kill the mucous membrane inside your mouth and down your esophagus. And eventually you will if you're doing it chronically, meaning chronic literally means you're doing it so often your body doesn't have enough time in between exposure to heal itself and recover. If you're doing it chronically, eventually the vessels that are feeding blood to that mucous membrane to heal it are also going to get burned and die. And then you have necrotic tissue and or cancer in your esophagus. So it's like, no, tea doesn't cause cancer in your esophagus. The extreme chronic exposure to heat on your esophagus, however, can lead to problems like that. Yeah. That was so fucking long-winded. I apologize. Hex, all I did was I swung. Look. Old background, new background. I just swung myself. Less room behind me to deal with like lighting and all that shit. Austin, have a beautiful day, honey boo boo. Be safe. Wash your hands. Don't let weirdos touch you. It's kind of a spot check sort of analysis, but it's not exactly taken much to tell that you're an intelligent, knowledgeable person. Oh, thank you. I just like to learn. And I think that's the similar trait among people who like maybe come off as intelligent. It's that passion for learning. Like I'm a crackhead for it. I will get, one little tidbit of information that's kind of interesting, and then I go on YouTube and suddenly it's 9 hours later and I'm an expert. It's disgusting, but it's fun to me. I love it. My biggest thing is I never want to come off as like a pretentious actually bitch though. So if that ever happens, I welcome any and all of you to point it out. I don't want to do it. I want this to be like a two-way sharing, not a actually, unless you're horrifically wrong. Like, I won't actually you, but for the safety of everyone else reading, I will probably correct you. But that's, like lungs don't collapse while you're sleeping. I'm doing great. In my 30s, I quoted Socrates to put myself in my place and acknowledged my own ignorance. In my 40s, I quote Diogenes. I don't remember how to say that name. Because I'm surrounded by idiots and I have no recourse but to mock them. Man, I just stay in my house. I swang. What's up? I could never. I've had one massage in my entire life. Like, that's how much it makes me anxious to let strangers touch my body. Can you imagine me at a swingers party? I'd be like Windexing myself. It'd be a problem. Actually, I know. I've been around those people. And while they can be, just because you're just because you're pretentious and you say actually, doesn't mean you're stupid. Those people can be some of the most intelligent people in the world, but they are very obnoxious to hang out with. And I don't want to be that way. I just want to share cool, fun shit I learned. Like that your lungs don't collapse while you're sleeping! Ugh. We need to take a break, and I need to pee. Let's do it. But remember, lungs don't collapse while you're sleeping. If they do, it's called a spontaneous pneumothorax, and I highly suggest you go to the emergency room as soon as possible. What the fuck? You don't even remember that word. Just go and be like, I think a lobe collapsed. And they'll be like, fuck. And they'll stick a huge needle in your ribs and you're going to hate it. It's just, she's a biology teacher at a major university. I didn't go to like an Ivy League, but I did go to a state university that's well source. I don't know what you say. It's respected. I don't know. It's a smart college in that when I was going there, our football team got eliminated because no one gave a fuck about it. That's the kind of college I went to, if that makes any sense at all. I'm going to go pee in a toilet and wash my hands because everyone should. Yuck, yuck. Even if you didn't get pee on your hands, like you touched doorknobs and dogs and all sorts of things that got pee on them. There's a sea cucumber on the screen. You're welcome. I'll be right back. Stretch your dicks and always pee after sex. That was disgusting. I apologize for the long break. I saw Lil doing the walking in circles, kind of sniffing the ground walk, so I gave her a few extra seconds, and she took a huge dump, so fucking hopefully she stops gassing me out. It was so gross, but thank you for being patient. I grabbed my iPad because I have a cool product, excuse me. I have a cool program on it. I think I can show you guys lungs on it while I talk about them. Give it to me. Get out of here. Shut the fuck up. It's really cool. It's one of those programs where you can like zoom in and out of all the organs and shit, like the layers of the body. It's pretty cool. But I gotta get the lungs up on there. Get the fuck off. Oh, where are the lungs? There they are. Okay. Lung. Ah. Please. Sorry. One moment. Oh my god, I can show you the fucking heat map, dude. I'm such a nerd. I will, though. It's pretty cool. Because my yard, I mean, it was fairly easy in my yard, to be honest, just because I've lived here a couple years, so I've watched, like, what bakes and what doesn't bake in the yard. It's not like I did any extensive research or anything. I just walked around my yard and was like, yeah, this bakes. But I had to because it's so, like, ultra specific what can grow here because of the weird ass climate. I had to log in, I'm sorry. Do it. Come on. Really? All this two-factor, it just drives me nuts. I understand it, but it still drives me nuts. It takes forever to just fucking log into something. Another factor. It's forever. Is my audio being weird? Ooh. A couple people said it was lagging for them, but they refreshed the stream and it was fine. Oh, I can hear myself? Let's never do that again. It's in my email. Sick. This is like a program to show you a skeleton. This is how much I have to go through to get into it. Just give it to me. It'll help, I swear. No, go away. Give me the lung. Okay. We did it. Well, that's this app. I don't think I had to pay for this app. I might have gotten it through a medical program, to be honest. I don't remember. So that might be why I can't get into it. That's bronchial tree. I don't want bronchial tree. I want lung tissue. Bronchial tree, blood vessels, cross sections. Really? Okay. Sick. Maybe I will have to pull up one online. I don't know how the fuck to get you just the lungs. It keeps putting a rib cage over it. Not that I don't want to show you guys a rib cage, but that's not what I want to show you. Muscular, arterial, venous, nervous, respiratory. On. Yay. Bone off. Oh, come on. Really? Okay. Well, it's kind of cool. I don't know if it's going to come up, but you can see the heart beating behind it. So these are how your lungs are laid out in your body. This is your right side. This is your left side. So you can see on your right side, you have 3 lobes. See those like bisections in them? You do have 3 separate lobes on your right side, and on your left side, you only have 2 lobes because there's room for your heart to lay in a little lung nest, which is pretty cool. It doesn't show it as well as I wanted, but it's kind of cool that it shows the heart inside. So there's this crazy ass phenomenon that can happen to young men quite frequently between the ages of like 17 and 26. It's really weird. It's a really specific age group where you get this thing called spontaneous pneumothorax, which is spontaneously, for no fucking reason, one of the lobes of one of your lungs will literally just collapse. So you can still breathe. Like, you're still totally fine because you've got all those other lobes that are open, but it's painful and it feels really heavy and tight on your chest. And they usually end up going to the ER like really short of breath and not feeling too hot. It's straight through your sternum. It's right in the middle. Yeah. Ooh, the software, the program is called. It's a really, really cool program. I haven't fucked with it as much as I should have to like get into it and actually show you guys shit that's cool on it. But it's really neat if you want to see like the layers of body anatomy and how it just lays on your body. I think it's really cool, but I'm a super fucking nerd, so I get it. Ooh, there we go. There's just your lungs. Okay, so the program is called, it's called C Anatomy 22. Like 22 the year. Like this year's the new edition, but it's just called C Anatomy. But there's your lungs. So you can kind of see the lobe breakdown, and this like indentation kind of shit in the middle, that's where your heart sits, in between your 2 lungs like that. And so usually what happens, what I've always seen, is this lobe just spontaneously collapses while dudes are sleeping. It's so weird. And they just get really, really short of breath. And then they come in the ER. And we have to literally like stab a gigantic syringe into your chest and inflate it. It's fucking sick. But it works. It's kind of miraculous. No, you can totally inflate it. Yeah. As long as it's like a spontaneous pneumothorax. There's other conditions called like atelectasis, where one entire lung shuts down, like all the lobes shut down on one side of your body. We have many ways to reinflate it. We can put chest tubes in. Like, usually it's a problem with, so you have a sac around your lungs that has a fluid between the lung and the sac that is a surfactant that keeps it stuck to that sac. And that sac is connected via connective tissue to your diaphragmatic muscle. So when you relax your diaphragm, it goes up and your lungs shrink and you exhale. And when you inhale, it goes down and it pulls your lungs with it. It literally is pulling your lungs down, which helps fully inflate them. And what will happen is some babies are born without that surfactant. We can literally inject it into the sac and get their lungs to stick. Sometimes people will just have a random hole in that sac, which obviously causes a leak. All sorts of weird things can happen within your body. It's very bizarre. But no, I've always seen them. We've always been able to, unless you have like a crazy underlying disease, like some people just have horrible diseases that result in a collapsed lung. So that sucks. I mean, it happens. There's so many though. I wouldn't even list them. I could not possibly. I mean, that's like you'd be surprised, honestly. It takes a lot of abuse for your lungs to look fucked up when you die. Like the kind of smokers' lungs that are gray and have the big tar pimples in them, that's someone who smoked since they were 12 years old and they died at 85. You know what I'm saying? That's years of abuse going on there. Your body does a shit ton to heal you on the inside all the time. It's pretty crazy. And that's what I mean, unless you have like the underlying something. There's all sorts of shit that can go wrong. CK, a twisted idea just hit me. Sometime we need to swap a horrendous medical stories. Oh my God. I'd have to like, my problem is I can't remember them like just off the top of my head. It's usually someone says something in chat and then I'm like, oh, fuck, I forgot about this fucking blah, 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 Does your app show where all the shame lives in my body? Oh, I can look. Is that under connective tissue? Oh, where's the shame button? That'd be so sad. I wish I had some more shame, to be honest. Sometimes I wonder if like there's something wrong with me that I don't really have I don't get embarrassed about stuff, really. I can't physically remember getting embarrassed. This is literally the first stream ever where I'd want a transcription of everything you're saying to process and absorb gradually since my brain is too dumb to suck all the info up. Dude, just come back another day this week. I repeat myself a lot. I'm a broken record. I'm not like that interesting, I swear. It'll get pounded in. Well, I mean, and it's like, I think it's healthy to have a certain level of embarrassment, but I tend to just not have it, or maybe I just don't sense it when people are like, wow, you're being embarrassing. I don't know. I do not miss tobacco, except when I miss wanting to smoke and drive feeling. I never got that. When I was vegan, I used to have really weird sexual fantasies about a runny egg, though. The collapsed lung. So the pneumothorax, that's basically what I was going to tell you. So because your lungs have separate lobes, so your lungs are basically, you have your trachea that goes down, and then the bronchial tubes are all those branches, all those like branches that go into the fluffy pink tissue. Those are all what we call non-conducting airways, meaning their only job and their only function is to deliver air to the lung tissue. All of the oxygen transfer actually happens in the alveoli. So you have all those bronchial tubes going to the different lobes. So there's a different set of bronchial tubes going to each lobe. So when this spontaneous pneumothorax, which is a collapsed lung lobe, occurs, you've still got 5 or 4 lobes working, you know, essentially, presumably still working at full effect. So you'll feel extremely short of breath, but you could absolutely still walk yourself to the ER. I mean, some people walk around with a pneumothorax for weeks before they even go to the hospital. They have no idea. It's pretty wild. And it's spontaneous, and it happens in like young, healthy men. Most. It's the strangest statistic. But yeah, I mean, it's to see someone come in and be like, wow, that's been collapsed for weeks. What the fuck? My first preceptor call for EMT was a self-inflicted GSW. Ugh, through and through, top lobe of left lung. Pneumothorax, got to do double occlusive dressings from back. It went out the back. Oh. I've only had one attempted self-gunshot wound with a 22, and it was the guy who shot his eye out. I told you about that one, I think. He missed his brain and just shot his soft palate and his eyeball out, and we had to replace the soft palate of his mouth with a piece of his thigh skin, and it was hairy. To this day, I wonder if he shaves his mouth. Oh, he was a dick. Oh, Hex. He was arguably, like, the most dickish patient I've ever had, so I don't feel bad. Like, he was an asshole and survived, which I'm glad. But yeah, he was a attempted suicide, presumably. Tried to use a 22, put it in his mouth, missed, because he was on so many drugs. I couldn't even tell you. He was on like so many. It was like a list, the toxicology report. So he was like, blah, blah, blah. Shot his soft palate and his entire eyeball out. This is the best part of this story, though. This is great. So the first night that we had him, the first night you have any patient under anesthesia in the ICU is always kind of touch and go because everybody's different, how much anesthesia they need, what's going to keep them under, but not zonk them. Because our ultimate goal, we don't want you on any anesthesia. We want you to come out, start waking up, breathe on your own, all that. But with a severe wound like this, we definitely keep a few more on board because we don't want you getting up and screaming and touching your shot out head or something, you know, like that. And so one of the big things, though, is that if you are a heavy-duty recreational drug user, like cocaine, heroin, like the hardcore, I'm not talking ecstasy once a year at a festival, like the hardcore drugs, your body metabolizes painkillers and all drugs differently because of that experience. So what can happen is either the drugs hit really, really fast and wear off really fast. So, like, I can hit you with propofol and fentanyl that would normally knock me out for hours, and it would only knock the patient out for 15 minutes. Or we can give them propofol and fentanyl, which normally, I mean, the immediate, it hits your vein and you're out, and they'll just be looking at you like it kind of burns, and you're just like, what the fuck? And what is happening is their liver and their organs will build up the drugs, and then all of a sudden, fucking hit all at once, and then you got to Narcan them because you've given them way too much. Like it's so bizarre. Your body adapts to strange circumstances. So anyways, long story short, the dude with the gunshot wound. So I was night shift. So it was like, I want to say it was like 5:30 in the morning. That's usually the time I do like my last rounds, like go around to all my patients, make sure they're cleaned up, look really good, charting looks nice, everything. So I'm just walking the figure 8 of my unit, and I'm walking past his room, and I see it in my periffs. I see him start to sit up because his bed was like this way to the door. And in the ICU, it was just all glass, like sliding doors and windows with curtains, no walls because we got to be able to see everything. And the thing is, if you are intubated, meaning you have that breathing tube into your lungs, causing a closed airway system, breathing with a ventilator, I'm in charge of you. There is a tiny balloon on that breathing tube that we inflate around and below your vocal cords that maintains a nice airtight seal so that you're not aspirating saliva. Because if you imagine, like, when we're talking like this, you have an epiglottis, which is kind of the back of your tongue. It's like this weird flap attached to the very, very back of your tongue, which flaps back and forth, either closing your airway so you don't inhale food or water in your airway, or closing your stomach so you're not swallowing air. When I shove a tube in your lungs, I'm forcing that epiglottis permanently open, but your mouth is going to salivate all the time no matter what. So you could just, by aspirate, I mean inhale things that aren't air. You could just drool into your lungs and give yourself pneumonia if I didn't have this tiny balloon. But because of this balloon, if you are intubated in a hospital, it's required by law that we have to 4-point tie you down. Even if you're not crazy, if you're totally lucid, I still have to tie your hands down, because if for some fucking reason you went crazy and you tried to tear that tube out, you can tear all your vocal cords out and never speak again. Like, it can literally chuck your throat. If you don't know what a chuck is, you didn't live on a farm, you're living a great life. So out of the corner of my eye, I see him sit up, and I see his strapped down arms start to go for the tube. And the thing is, if you're laying down into bed and your arms are at the 4-point, it doesn't matter how far you can stretch, you shouldn't be able to hit the tube. The problem was that he sat up, so he could totally reach it. And it's a statistic that RTs carry on our license, how many of our patients self-extubate. Meaning, I didn't check literally, it's just your patient woke up for some fucking reason and tore their own tube out. It happens to everybody. But what they look at it is, you did not attend to your patient often enough to tell whether or not they were under the right amount of anesthesia, the right pressures on the ventilator to be comfortable, so on and so forth. So we're very prideful of how many people self-extubate. I'm very, very, I've only had like one ever in my life, and it was fine. They didn't tear their vocal cords out, but I've seen it. Like, the tube comes out with bloody tissue on it. It's fucking sick. So I see this out of my corner of my eye, and just instinctually get him to stop. I don't even know what patient it is at this point. Like, that didn't even clue in that, oh, this is my gunshot wound, this is so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. It was just one of my ventilators is about to self-extubate. And so I just fucking flew in the room, like, Supermaned him on the bed. And normally what we do in an instant where anybody does this is I put my hand on your forehead and I slam you back down on the bed. I just get your head as far away from your hands as possible. Then you're much more easy to manage. We can tie your head down if we need to. It's happened. Unfortunately, this man had shot the top part of his head out, and my fingers went directly into his brain tissue. And it was, to this day, the strangest texture I've ever felt in my life. Ever. But he did not self-extubate. It's over. It was like, kind of like Jell-O, honestly. Like, really firm Jell-O. It was wild. Should we cheers? He survived. I would never, ever, ever tell you about a patient that died who wasn't, but he was a fucking asshole. Once he was, like, conscious and able to talk and stuff, he would insist on sitting on a chair directly outside of his patient room because he wanted to, like, walk the unit. And he would sit there and he would do this at you until you acknowledged him. And then the moment you acknowledged him, he'd go, every fucking time. Oh, I'm glad I squished his brain. I'm just kidding. I'm not glad. I never want to do that, but it was bizarre. Johnny motherfucking Scar! What the fuck is up? You started Joy? Oh my god. Cheers to better days. Mine took exactly 8 weeks to kick in. Whatever time yours takes, I hope it goes by swiftly. I'm gonna burp. Ugh. 2. Ugh. Pathetic. Cheers. Like flan. Oh my god, it's very similar to flan. your brain is like it's like a firm jello. It's not liquid. It doesn't pour out of you like movies show. It's like, yeah, it's very much like flan covered in like pudding skin because you've got two different layers on your brain, the pia mater and the dura mater. The pia mater is a little bit softer and more tissuey, and that's like on the brain, encapsulating the brain. And then the dura mater is a little bit off of it, and there's usually like fluid between the two layers. I can't believe I remembered those two words. Amazing. Miracles. Oh no, David, I completely understand. No, I completely understand. I mean, literally, well, yeah. I mean, literally, I've touched him where no one else might ever go. My brain is literally falling out of my skull, fun fact. I have cerebral spinal fluid leakage. We're twinning. Oh, fuck off. Hex, I'm not even kidding you. I'm not going to name names, but a person that works at ZOS, their father-in-law did that and ripped the head of his dick off. That's not made up. Like, seriously. I can't even with that. Like, a nurse walked into the room and found the catheter on the floor with a penis head attached. What do? They reattached it, by the way. It was fine. But what the? Catheters also have a tiny balloon in them, in case you're wondering. Yeah, they reattached it. It was literally the head. I mean, it was, yeah, I won't go into details. It's too much. I know, Lizzie. This is why we're married. I mean, it's just facts. I can't believe I'll forget these two words. Well, I think, honestly, anything where I got to do, like, a physical project with it, I remembered strongly. And when I was taking anatomy and physiology, I can't remember which class it was, every table got given their own perfect, intact sheep brain with the dura mater and the pia mater, like, attached. It's mater, not matter. I'm sorry, I keep saying matter. The dura mater and the pia mater attached. And you got an extra, like, 10 points on our final if you got the dura mater and the pia mater off without damaging the brain at all. And brains are, I mean, it's soft, it's flan. So imagine using a scalpel near flan, like, you can't fuck up. And my table did it, like, we fucking did it, and it was hard. Because the pia mater, it doesn't just sit on top, like, it goes into the sulci, like, it goes into all the little crevices a little bit, you know? Not all the way, it's not like you're peeling it out, but it goes in, so you kind of have to, like, ouch, it's wild. It was really fun, though. I loved doing dissections and stuff. Like, seeing actually what's in you is pretty epic. What the oh man, bad, horrible hospital stories that you might not want me to repeat. They're pretty bad. I worked in a hospital for a while, and just by job definition, I tended to see the worst of the worst. You got a human cadaver, though? Fuck off. Oh, shut up. Stop. It was really cool until I got to the end. Momo said, oh my god, your AMP class was so much better than mine. We had one human cadaver, to which I was like, how the fuck was mine better? And no refrigerator. Stop. Ooh, okay, but why is it there? Is it for the safety, like a protective membrane? No, that's a really good question. So, your brain is actually literally never in contact with blood. There is no free-flowing blood around your brain. So, what the pia mater encapsulates the brain tissue. That's basically a protective shell. The pia mater kind of is like, I'm trying to think of something to compare it to. It's almost a little bit leathery. It's tough. It's thinner than the dura mater. The dura mater is a little bit tougher and a little bit, because it's more expanded. But essentially, the pia mater completely encapsulates the brain, protecting it from any free-flowing, creepy fluids that should not be breaking that blood-brain barrier I was talking about earlier. And between the dura mater and the pia mater is that layer of cerebral spinal fluid, moisturizing, delivering good nutrients, keeping things afloat and, you know, mobile and shit like that in your brain. But amidst those two things are copious vessels that are all kind of coming in to feed the nutrients to the brain that is supposed to go there. It's pretty wild. On one hand, I'm thoroughly disgusted. On my other hand, my curiosity kind of overpowers. I have pictures of me dissecting stuff when I was in A&P, like back when the first iPhones came out. And you could see my face. I'm disgusted. I loved it, but I'm disgusted. Like nobody's like, ooh, yummy fetal pig. Like, you're like, wow, that's a liver. Ugh, that's really cool. Ugh, all the time. It's fine. Bodies. I'm now for them. Bodies are incredible. Not right now, Bill. You're gonna unplug all my shit. I love you so much. Not right now. Sorry. I love you. Fun fact, CFS tastes horrid. I have a CFS leak in my head from the horse accident when I was younger. It doesn't taste, it tastes salty. What you talking about? I taste it all the time. Hilfa, do you like all my, I moved my office. I just like twisted it. So what was our background is now over there. Just to like eliminate all the space behind me for lighting issues and stuff like that. But I tried to put up all cute things that chat has given me over the years and stuff. Bodies 1, science 0. I mean, science is just like band-aiding abuse. It's kind of crazy. Does the disgust get easier to handle with time as a nurse? Some things for sure. And I don't think we get used to the disgust. It's your compassion for the human being that really overtakes anything. I think I could say that for most nursing staff, respiratory staff. Like, it doesn't really matter at a certain point. Your compassion for the suffering human far overrides any smell or whatever the fuck that could gross you out. Afterwards, however, it may like click in. You're like, holy, bleh. But in the moment, like, you really, it's just, I think it's kind of a human nature thing. You just click into this mode that's like, I'm gonna save that person because wow, and because I've been in that moment, like a emergent. I've told you guys the story of my patient in the ER who just randomly, I mean, I'd say shit, but more like a gallon of curdled black shit just fell out from under his gown while I was walking into the bathroom. I don't remember the smell. I don't remember anything. I remember thinking, holy what? Sit down. Let me get some help. You know, it's kind of that more overtakes it. I don't think we ever get used to the smells, though. Like, I would always smell a C. diff patient. Always. I don't know if we ever... And I always kept peppermint oil in my bag to put in my mask or something. But yeah, I don't think it gets easier. You definitely get desensitized a little bit to some stuff, for sure. I'm trying to think of like an example. Like, man, they're all gonna sound bad. Screaming family members. When you first start working in a hospital, that shit gets you real bad. When you hear like screaming parents outside in the hall screaming in terror, like that their child's gonna die or something, it paralyzes you a little bit emotionally because you got to do a job, but now you're thinking about the parents. And after a while, you don't hear the parents anymore. Like I'm talking years, like same situation, different people, obviously, but you don't hear the parents anymore, but you've trained yourself to tune everything out so you can hyper focus on what you need to do. Because if you're ever in a patient's room where there's chaos happening, a code or an emergency or something like that, it's sick. There's like 30 people in a 10 by 10 space with needles and blades and things like this. And it's just, you got to be able to not hear it, see it, and just do what you need to do and get it done kind of thing. And I think we all do that, though. Kind of. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. You do. You'd go crazy, and you'd also, I mean, I think it'd be honestly so emotionally exhausting. It's emotionally exhausting just dealing with, just handling a patient that's crashing or something like that. But when you pile all that other shit on you, you couldn't handle a 12-hour shift. I don't know, man. That's so much. It's so fucking much. I know so many nurses and stuff that knit as a way to like just tune the world out in between patient checks to try to like get back into their own head. Because you can get permanently stuck, you know. Spoke about that with my best friend who's a nurse. We were talking about her job isn't just to help people live, it's to help people die and help them die with dignity and love. That's so huge. That gives me so much hope that a nurse so far away from me on the other side of the world believes that way. Because that's every nurse I've ever worked with. I'm a respiratory therapist, but we're like specialized lungy nurses. Same. It's all about helping the human being in front of you have dignity in all forms. Because when you're in an ICU, we give you like a tissue paper gown that has one tie at the back of your neck, and that's your humanity is ripped from you. Like, we can come in and start fiddling with your dick or your wounds or anything at any time. Good staff will knock and say hello every time they come in. Most people do. It's just respectful because honestly, while you're in the hospital, that patient room is your only space that is yours. And we try to still keep your humanity and dignity with you because that's all you've got at a certain point. It's such a big deal for me. Personally, that was huge for me. Some people can't handle it. Oh, absolutely. And that's nothing to say any like shade on those people. I've said that a couple times in my chat. It always sounds terrible when I say it, and I don't want it to come off that way, but like, for instance, when you graduate as a brand new nurse or a brand new respiratory therapist or so on and so forth, you usually will, if you get a job, you will have to shadow someone in your department, another nurse or respiratory therapist or whatever, for like 10 weeks. And that's not only for you to learn that hospital, because every hospital is completely different. Every hospital thinks they know the way. They all have a different charting system, Epic, Cerner, so on and so forth, that you got to learn, and they all look different. It's a hellscape. But on top of that, it's so that that person who already works there can watch you. And they're watching everything, every minute behavior you have, bedside behaviors, behaviors with your patients. Because, for instance, if a code button gets pulled, as an RT, I'm arguably the most important human being that needs to be in that room because I'm an airway. And if you code, meaning your heart stops, I've got to take over your airway for you. And if a baby RT freezes at the door and does this, what do? You're done. You got to go work the floors. That's the moment I know you don't have the personality for this. You don't get trained to do that. Like, there's no way for me to alter who you are to get you to dive into a bloody car wreck situation and just do it. Like, you gotta just run on instinct. You can't, you don't really get that moment to like think and not do. You can think while you do if you're capable of it, but you can't think and not do. And those are the kind of things that, like, as an RT, I really watch for because we're kind of the emergency people. So you just have to have that disposition, I guess. And some people don't have it, and that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. There's plenty of places you can work as a respiratory therapist and a nurse that have nothing to do with codes. And you'll probably make a lot more money than me, to be honest. Exactly, sales. It's like, it's getting to know the human being, if you can, before they're non-communicative, and learning what will make them the most happy. For instance, I had a patient one time who was dying of cancer, metastatic, and all she would talk about for weeks before she was on a ventilator was Wendy's chili. Like, Wendy's, the fast food restaurant, chili. And so a couple weeks go by, and we all kind of see she's deteriorating. Not on a ventilator, though. She can still talk and stuff. And a couple RTs snuck off, drove to Wendy's, and got her chili. She died the next day. Like, not because of the chili, nothing spiritual, but we got her fucking chili, man. It was a $3 little paper cup of chili. Like, that was the least we could do. She didn't have family or anything. Like, those are the little things that can give someone just that. We acknowledge that you are still human. Yeah, I'm putting tubes in your butthole and your pee-pee and your nip-nops and everything I can possibly put a tube in, and I'm charting your bowel movements, but I acknowledge you are human, and I am human, and I am here for you, and I'm here with you. It's just those little things that you can do that you'd see all over the hospital. All people do this all the time. I mean, all sorts of staff, nurses, respiratory therapists, all sorts of stuff like that. We do all sorts of little things because we're human. I mean, you can't help but be human, looking at the human and empathize and think, like, what would I want? Do I want my legs spread open and my jennies just, like, hanging out all the time? Not really. What if it was the chili, though? I mean, like, she died from happiness because she finally got her chili. I mean, I'd be fine with that. She was going to die no matter what, honestly. When you have things like metastatic cancer, so on and so forth, people pray to die because of the pain. Like, they know they're going to die. Like, there's no quality of life on the other side for them. Sometimes it is a mercy for their body to just give up, which is horrible to say, but Jesus. Man, I mean, the chili smelled good. She only had like one bite of it. She could barely get any down, but she liked it. It was her spiritual chili. I'll believe it. Basic was to teach you how to fold your sheets. I still don't know how to fold a stretchy sheet. How do you do that? Prime your muscle memory to function on a team when the shit is going down. It's real hard. It's like you have to be aware of certain people in the room that scream things you do have to listen to, and then other people in the room are in your way. And you also have to acknowledge that and be respectful. So it's hard. Like, I have to be aware for the doctor who's standing in the doorway with his hands crossed, shouting orders across the 20 people screaming, doing compressions, shouting meds, the pharmacist giving meds, the nurses administering a fucking IO drill going through someone's shin, like all of these things you could hear. You cannot stop to look. You just gotta keep going and acknowledge someone's getting drilled into right next to you. Wow. It's and I don't know what makes anybody able to just jump into that and not able to. I have no idea. It doesn't make anyone special or not. It's just like, as an RT, this is very specific to respiratory. As an RT, there's usually one respiratory therapist for every floor. So that could be like 100 patients, 300 patients, depending on how severe the floors are. So if there's a code, there's no one else. You have to go. Like, you are the RT. You're going to intubate. You're going to set up a ventilator. You're going to so on and so forth. And if you freeze at the door, the patient's going to die, and that's on you. And we can't risk that. The team, I would not risk my patients like that. Like, I would not lie to my boss because you're a nice person and be like, yeah, she's great. Because if that happened, that'd be on my soul forever, And people can take it very personally, and it's like, it's nothing personal. There's a million things you can do. ICU is not the best. We get paid the least, and it's horrific. It's just like held in esteem for some reason. In that moment, nothing people did was a little thing. You literally have a case where a container of Wendy's chili was the key to unlock the door. I mean, and it's that way for so many patients, and you'd be appalled and shocked how many people go without anybody there. No family, no nothing. They just don't want to see it, or I don't want to remember grandpa that way or something. It's ugh. I remember reading some nurse statistics, not sure whether or not it's true. Apparently, an AMABs are more likely to commit suicide due to the nursing job. A bit more related to that, it made me realize I should be more thankful for all the people I had around me during multiple hospital visits. I mean, I think high pressure jobs end up in a lot more self-harm in many ways, like not just suicide. Suicide's pretty high. I've seen it. But I don't think it's the job. And this is purely conjecture, obviously. I think it's everything that you turn your life into to support the job. As a doctor, for instance, you often work 4 days in a row where you get like these 2-hour naps, you fall asleep in a rolly chair until someone bumps into you, and that's it. And we all know what extreme lack of sleep can do to your body, the cortisol flowing in your body from the stress, all of that just like constantly can drive you to a point of depression where you might want to end your own life. But I don't think it's the job. I think it's how we treat the job. And it is all because of money. Of course it is. For instance, nurses, respiratory therapists, doctors, we only still work 12-hour shifts because it's cheaper for hospitals. In a 24-hour period, if everybody's working 12-hour shifts, you only have to pay benefits for 2 humans in that 24-hour shift. If we work 8-hour shifts, you now have to pay benefits for 3 humans. Hospitals that don't want to do that ever, obviously, they're not making money. So you get super fucked. It's sad. It is very, I mean, that's really, I've told you guys that, if you're new to my channel, sup. I quit being a respiratory therapist about 3 years ago. Literally wrote my 2 weeks in the middle of the night with a very tall glass of Lagavulin scotch because I looked around. I'd worked at many different hospitals at this point across the country, and I looked around at all the RTs I knew that were older, had worked in the career most of their life, and they were fucking miserable. Easily some of the most depressed, miserable people I've ever met in my life. And it's the lifestyle they create around the job. It's this binge purge lifestyle. It's, well, if I work 8 12-hour shifts in a row, I'll get 10 days off. But working 8, do you want a nurse on day 8? Or an RT on day 8 of 12-hour shifts? Like, just to give you an example of what my day was like, and I lived pretty close to my hospital. I worked from 7, so technically 6:30 p.m. until 7:30 a.m. because you have to give report. And so I would go to work. I'd get there at about 5:30-ish because I always have to go early because I'm neurotic and traffic. So I'd either get there a half hour early or get there right on time, go in, you get your report for a half hour, and then you work just 12 hours. And then by the time you leave the hospital, you're getting out maybe at like 7:30 a.m. I'd get home around 8:30 a.m. Morning traffic, it's horrific in Baltimore. And then by the time you fall asleep, it's like 10 a.m. And then you're gonna wake up around. I'd wake up around 2:30, 3 p.m. Have like 2 hours at my house, and then I'd go to work again. That's me living fairly close to the hospital. Some of the people I worked with literally lived like 2 hour drives from the hospital. I have no idea if they slept. So 8 hours, 8 days of 4 hours of sleep, working 12 hours a day. It's not, I truly don't think that, because the job is not that bad. Being an RT theoretically is very emotionally taxing, but there are some nights I got paid $20 an hour to watch Netflix literally for 12 hours. There are some nights I didn't pee for 12 hours, had a bagel in my pocket, and coded someone for 6 hours straight, had calluses on my hand, still got paid the same amount of money. Like, it's not that bad. It's just the lifestyle around what you have to do to work these jobs. It kills your social life. It kills your personal life. Like, there is something to be said about sleeping in the same bed as the person you're dating and not being on that opposite schedule, literally being alone all the time. All sorts of things happen. Like, and I saw that and I was like, I just don't want, I want to be happy. I'd rather work till I die doing something I love than retire early and be broken and miserable. But that's just me personally. Like, I would never push that on anyone else. It's just me. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, giving up a career that I worked so hard for. But I still get to talk about it with you guys. You guys let me teach you cool lung shit. And you listen way more than people in the ER, let me tell you. Shocker there. I was miserable. It was terrible. That binge purge lifestyle, I don't think we're built for it. Like, as much as we force ourselves into it, I don't think we're built for it. I don't think it's good. Because you end up spending, literally 5 of those 10 days off recovering from 8 days of working straight. Seriously. Like, especially if you work night shift. Not to make night shift special. Day shift is much harder, way more busy work. But when you work night shift, on your days off, you try to swing back onto being awake during the day because that's when everyone else is awake. You'd like to be social, right? Takes you about 3 days to like start waking up before noon again. And then by the time you're feeling okay, you fucking go back to work. And it just keeps, it's that cycle forever. It's exhausting. Hello, Viata. How are you, love? Oh my God, it's almost your 420. Go pee and stuff. I've got a bowl. Do I have a bowl? Yeah, I'm good. This I'm kind of curious about. And if you can't answer, that's okay. I can try. Obviously, there has to be a point where you're not treating anything anymore and just doing pain relief. But there is a point where a patient is so sick that you would do very aggressive pain relief to accelerate the process. Absolutely. That's literally the definition of comfort care. So that is something we do all the time in the hospital. And it's honestly like anytime a family is willing to do comfort care, everyone in the room exhales. Because it means, what comfort care means is, if you die, we're going to let you stay dead. We're not going to break all your ribs and do compressions for 3 hours and try to bring you back. That's what comfort care means. And if someone is dying in lots of pain, like you said, what we'll often do is put them on a morphine drip and slowly up the morphine drip until they no longer have the control of their own breathing and they just go to sleep and die. But they're already dying. We're just taking the pain aspect away. Like, there are literally some people who can't stop screaming. Like, cancer is horrific, And so we use it as a pain method, but literally, like, if you take a shit ton of sleeping medication or if you just go to sleep, your respiratory rate falls. And eventually their body just says, I want to die, and it dies. Palliative care with the DNR is humanity at its finest. Amen. Hallelujah. Hail.
Hail the dank lord.
I could not agree. Like, the most wonderfully kind thing you can do to a family member in their elder years who's in pain and dying is to give them palliative care. Absolutely, David. And it's not always a morphine drip. There are many different medications, but it's literally we actually have homes for it. We have hospice care is another word for it. I don't know if you guys have that over there, where it's kind of like a retirement home, but it's specifically built for people who are actively dying of like cancer or some painful disease. And it's very well staffed with, in my personal opinion, some of the most heroic nurses I've ever met in my life. And their job is literally to help you pass with dignity and not in pain. And they're like specialized in pain medication and making you comfortable, but not killing you, like not putting you to sleep like a dog, obviously. but just giving you the comfort to die without wanting to die, you know, not screaming in bed or something like that. Horrible. It's wonderful. I mean, we pray for it because you've heard my stories of just like coding people that are 99 and stuff. It's just my wife had to fight for her family for that care for her grandmother in February. Finally, her grandmother passed at home with family around. Oh, was she like with it? Was she conscious when she got to go home? My grandpa got to do that. My grandpa he had 2 AAAs, which was crazy. He survived the first one, and then I think the second one took him, it was like 13 years later, which was wild. Normally you do not survive a triple aortic aneurysm of the heart. That doesn't happen. My grandpa did. It was wild. Oh, she was gone. Oh, I was gonna say my grandpa, like, he wasn't with it long, but the first day we got to bring him home, he got to see his garden one last time, and that's all he wanted to say. That's all he kept saying when he was in the hospital was, "I just want to see my garden." He had this beautiful rose garden. "I just want to see my garden." That's all he wanted to see. So we got him home before he was, and that was like a gift in itself. Your grandfather was a stallion. Ugh. I wonder about my grandpa's penis sometimes. I don't know, man. She sure did talk about it a lot. Absolutely, David. Those are some of my favorite things to talk about because, in my opinion, even though they involve death, those are like the happiest stories to me. When someone gets to go because it's their choice, they got to choose. Like, they're in pain. They know, like, it's terminal diagnoses, or like we'd have patients who would have these enormous cancerous tumors that were closing their airway, and it was just pain and horrible. And those are the moments when they truly have like their autonomy. They got to choose, like, I choose not to live this existence, if you would even call that. And those are the moments there's horrible, obviously death is never happy, but those are the good ones. I was on dude, we call it the dark side of the bay for a reason. A quantum flux meter? The fuck is that? Is it 420? We were waiting for... Oh, Viata has 1 minute. Do you think she's going to make it back? It's 1 minute until East Coast 420. Viata had to, like, pee and do a whole bunch of things. I don't know. I'm going to get ready. If you'd care to cheers with me, you're welcome to. Water, caffeine, marijuana, whatever. I don't encourage other drugs because they seem very damaging, but, I ain't here to tell you what to do. Thought I had a new lighter over here. Guess I don't. Unless I'm healing at nothing. Is it now 420? Oh, man. I'll wait for Viata. You guys can cheers. It is officially 420 on the East Coast. Cheers if you'd like. I shall wait for Viata. She just got back from work, so I feel bad. That's a rush. What up, Poop Deck? How are you? Hex, I mean, it's not like I want to know what my grandfather's penis looked like. I more want to know what my grandma thought was a stallion. Because as a millennial, I've seen many a penis in medical and in porn. I just want to know what was a 1920s lady's idea of a stallion. Just curious. She's back, Viata. I was like, I'm going to wait for Viata, so I just broke out a little dab to put on my bowl. It's cool. I'm here with you. Cheers, everyone, to the East Coast, Beast Coast 420. If you like, no pressure. By refusing care treatment, and my granddad full on starved himself? Aww. Honestly, I don't know if I've seen people, like, actively, quote unquote, try to kill themselves, but I've said it before, like, people who I've had as patients who are elderly, who have family and loved ones, like, around them all the time, and they tend to have more spirit, more, like, oomph, they tend to live. And people who are alone, they don't really, want to. It's not that they don't want to, but their body kind of is like, I don't know why. I've seen so much. Honestly, like, after working in medicine, and I'm sure anybody that's ever in here that's a nurse or otherwise, I don't even see genitals anymore. So many catheters. Like, I'm like, oh, I could get a catheter in there real easy. Nice. Sick. That's all I see anymore, even though I've been out of the medical field for almost three 3 years now, 3.5 years. That's it. It's just bodies at this point. It helped me a lot with my own body image issues. When you see all the bodies in the world at their worst or limpest, when people are out like sleeping and or on anesthesia, they're not sucking in anything, they're not tucking in their double chin, and it gives you just this view of like, we are all fucking just weird looking blobs of flesh. That's it. No one's special. It helps. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I had a lot of issues with my body when I was little, though, for no reason. There's nothing wrong with it. Probably just hormones. I'm just repacking it down. I had a big old whore hole. Sorry. Lizzie, dude, I mean, anytime a nurse compliments your body, take it as a big compliment because they've seen some shit. More than I will ever even dream of seeing as a respiratory therapist. As I said, I'm a belly button up kind of person, but I'm there in like all the catastrophes, so I usually see the nakedness. Nady, how are you, love? Ooh, have polished off roughly 80% of a 750 milliliter of rum. Oh my god. It's the only way I've been able to talk. Could mention cigs, but smoke consumption is like normal with dealing every day. Dude, everybody has a vice. I'd say easily 80% of the RTs I've met and worked with in my life smoke cigarettes. Everybody has a vice. Nobody's perfect. I've seen vegan trail runners drop dead at 25. I've seen chronic cigarette smoking heroin addicts live till they're 90. There's no secret to life. Be happy. Cheers if you can and strive for it, That's all I got so far. I don't know. Cheers, everybody. Oh my god, Hex. I would have lingered. A cerebral transient ischemic attack. Since age 5, it feels like a dreamless sleep. Time feels like 1 microsecond and at the same time a trillion years. For 40 seconds? Dude. I personally am glad you came back. But I understand that. I've never considered myself. I have been in the deep dark depths of depression and suicidal ideation. Trigger warning. Am not anymore. Am medicated. Go to therapy. Highly suggest it. However, I have had to explain in great detail to my mother and my family when I was younger. I didn't want to die. It's more like what you said. I'd like to just click off for a bit and then turn back on in a few years, maybe. It's more like just powering down for real, because my brain specifically, I can't speak to anyone else's, just never shuts the fuck up. Even while I'm sleeping, awake, it's going 90 miles an hour all the time. It's just like a shit show, like a hurricane with cows mooing and stuff. It's nonsense. And that dreamless, just blink out seems amazing to me. But I realize as a conscious person, that's not possible. Exactly, Nady, 100% sympathize. And when we're in mentally, when you're in that truly depressive state where you have zero happy neurochemicals in your brain, it's hard to tell yourself that realistically that's not possible. And that's where we get into that ideation of suicide and stuff like that. It's never actually wanting to fucking die. No one wants to die. No one wants pain. Everyone I've ever talked to in the hospital that survived, it's usually just exhaustion. They explain it like it's the most volatile exhaustion they've ever felt in their life. I have sleep paralysis. Oh my god, do you get night terrors? And I used to have severe chronic sleep paralysis. Ooh. Once in the sleep paralysis, I died. I thought I was suffocating, and due to the hallucinations and feelings, I genuinely thought I was dying. The fuck? That sounds like a night terror. I was fully lucid. After the initial panic, I was so calm. I was really soothed. It was the weirdest sensation. I mean, maybe it was just the sheer relief that it wasn't real. Ugh. That's some creepy shit. I would not enjoy that in any way, shape, or form. That sounds so scary. Nope. Hate it. That's so scary. Absolutely, Cece. I don't wish for others to die as they pursue their paths. I just get tired of being alone, and I know what I have to do to bypass that restriction. Weed. I am not I'm not having a good time sober around people. Weed for me is a lubricant for slowing my brain down, not to like I never want to be that. That's why I don't drink. I've never been a blackout on any substance really. I just want to it's like fuzzing the edges of a very hard edge is the way I like visualize it in my head. It slows me down so I can carry a conversation like a normal human, as opposed to struggling with every ounce of my being to follow the conversation while you're talking instead of thinking about the fact that dolphins rape humans sometimes in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Like, I totally get it. Everybody has a thing, and people who strive for that perfect, clean life fucking go crazy, or they're lying. I've seen it a million times, like YouTubers who are like, I'm a raw vegan, and then 3 months later, it's like she has lip injections and Botox and fake boobs and eats steak on Fridays. Like, everybody has one. I think we should be more realistic about it, honestly, and more honest with each other and less shameful, because everybody's got it. Like, sugar, caffeine, shut the fuck up. Rats will choose sugar over cocaine. Shit is delicious. Neuro, my bitch. How you doing, honey bean? How are you, love? Oh, really, Lizzie? Oh, that's so creepy. But I kind of understand that. I've had dreams like that, similar, where like I'm drowning. And at first, when I realize I can't breathe, I'm underwater, I struggle. And then I have this moment where I just give up. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, I can breathe underwater. But really, it's a give up. Yeah, no, I totally get that. I've had those. No, I'm good, bitch. We've had a very medical day today. I explained lungs. I told everyone about my biology teacher that tried to tell a class of 300 freshmen that your lungs collapse at nighttime, and early in the morning you can hear them pop open like bubbles if you listen closely. I'd like everyone to meet my friend Neuro Fournier, a neurosurgeon from Johns Hopkins. We work together. Opposite shifts, but together. Sup? A tenured professor, biology professor, told that to my class. And my mom's an RT. I don't know if I've mentioned that ever. I'm like a fourth generation, Jesus fuck, a fourth generation respiratory therapist by no trying for that in any way, shape, or form. Just like did it on accident. My great grandma was a inhalation therapist at a nunnery, and then my biological dad, he's dead, but he was literally like the 10th licensed RT in the United States of America. Like, we're pretty new as a career. It's kind of weird. My mom's an RT. So I kind of just was surrounded by medical facts and lung knowledge most of my growing up. So I just had the knowledge that your lungs don't fucking collapse while you're sleeping. I informed my professor and she was upset with me. Never admitted I was right. You would die. It's called atelectasis. Stop it. People suppress all the time. Some people suppress because they worry that others in their social circle will ostracize them for not being acceptable. Others suppress because they start to find themselves researching firearm costs and the ability of different types of shells impact against skulls. Dude, I mean, what is therapy if not my attempt to... I mean, they don't let me suppress it. They make me dig it up and, like, dissect it and eat it, put it in my ass, and, like, live with it forever. But my goal is to fucking... I don't want to cry anymore. Help me fix it. Like, I want to suppress it. I kind of get it. Obviously, not in the way of firearms. I've never felt that urge. But I grew up in an area where everyone had guns to kill deer. When I studied in Lithuania, we had a sex ed class in 7th grade, and a nurse told us, if you're gay, you have AIDS. Oh my God, our nurse told me that when I was in 8th grade. I'm not kidding you. I got the same shit. I was in 8th. The only sex ed I've ever was given in my entire life was, if you pierce yourself, you will get HIV and die. If you have gay sex, you will get AIDS and die. And if you have anal sex, she did this. The pressure and the ripping will cause you to get AIDS. That was our sex ed class. Not to mention, a week prior, I had pierced my own nose, and the whole class knew. It was a moment. Yes, Lizzie, please. I'd be offended if you didn't. Well, here's the thing. I think nowadays, especially if you're going to get a doctorate in medicine, they actually do a lot of psychological looking at you, because for a while there we were just spitting out doctors who just could get straight A's, you know, we're just like brains, but they had negative bedside manner at all. And like we've talked about before, sometimes your patient is more successful because they feel hopeful, they feel a little bit more spiritual. And if you got a doctor in there who's a rock, no personality, you're not gonna feel hopeful. And that was a big problem. So I think nowadays, I know for respiratory, they made me do a whole psychological analysis to get into the program before I could get a medical license, because we have, you know, we unplug people. Obviously, you probably don't want a sociopath in that job, I would assume. Oh my God, did you get dog ass? Oh, there's a little dog ass. It's a little one. That's the Tootie one today. She's been disgusting. Lizzie, it's kind of weird, isn't it? So my great grandma was the like inhalation therapist at a nunnery, and then my dad was one of the first RTs, but he actually went into selling ventilators, like being a salesman for ventilators, because that's to this day it's huge money. Being a salesman of medical equipment, you'll make more than anyone that ever works at a hospital, including the doctors. It's disgusting. I know there are some salesmen my mom has known literally for like 40 years as an RT that own multiple houses around the world. It's sick. Ah, you shock me every time. Someday you'll learn, Lil. Hope and compassion, two things that can't be prescribed but are required to recover. Dude, I really believe it. Like, I don't know. I'm not a religious person. I'm not like spiritual much, but there's something about having good positive, like when you have just, you know, you see, even when people are, I can't remember what this patient had or anything, but they had something that was so communicable that to go into the room, everyone had to fully gown up, meaning the full gown, gloves, mask, goggles, shield, everything, hat. And this family brought in this little girl, and she was like, I don't know ages very well, but like knee high is how big this tiny child was, but walking and toddling around, whatever. And they put one of the full-on adult like paper gowns on this tiny little human, and she was like dragging her sleeves behind her and waddled into the room, and the patient was just ecstatic to get to see their grandkids, you know? Like, those are the people I tend to see that get knocked down to lower care units and leave. I don't know what it is. Okay, the therapy bomb. CW assault. We know we need consent from others, but when you're with yourself masturbating, make sure you're getting consent from yourself too. Why are they such bitches though? Damn it. I don't think I've ever considered consent for myself ever in my life. I'm gonna have to bomb my therapist with your therapist bomb. We're gonna cross bombs. Jesus fuck. No, we had a full-on trick asshole. Oh God. So in other words, the nurse got plowed like a 60-acre field. She started getting guilty about how good it felt. Then she whiplashed and inflicted her transference on children. Way to go, sexually repressed nurse person. Ew. I want to get plowed like a 60-acre field. Sounds, just kidding. I wouldn't have a vagina anymore. It'd be on the outside of me. I'd prolapse. I'd be ugly. Ew. Can't do it anymore. I've been looking into RT school. I've been looking into it for months, and I've thought about you the whole time. Dude, if you ever want to talk about it, hit me up on Twitter. Twitter DMs. My DMs are open. That's like the most reliable place they actually go to. I might not get a notification for it right away, but they at least show up. It's an amazing career to get into. I can give you much advice. Biggest piece of advice, work on the West Coast. You will be paid double what you make on the East Coast. East Coast RTs are not unionized at all. West Coast hospitals are for the most part unionized, and because of that, you get paid exponentially more. You get paid what you're actually worth. That's one piece of advice. Well, Discord, I mean, I don't even get him half the time. That bitch hates me. Yeah, Nady, that was the biggest thing I learned. That was like up and down the coast. And just to give you an example, as a new graduate on the West Coast in Seattle I worked at a hospital that was like north of Seattle in a little town called Kirkland. Not a little town, it's pretty affluent, just like rich white people basically. on heroin. I made $40 an hour coming out of school as a brand new graduate, and half that time I was being precepted because I was being watched. I moved and worked at Johns Hopkins, arguably one of the #1 hospitals in the world, $20 an hour with night shift differential and experience, copious experience in the ICU, and a lot of extra certifications under my belt because I was bored. It's just union, not a union. That's what unions can be shit. Like, they will protect horrible employees from getting fired, which is terrible, but they have the resources to pull up all this information and go, this is what the cost of living in this area is. This is what you have to pay your employees, period. Or we're coming after you, hospital. That's what they do, essentially. Whereas Hopkins, they're like, we let you put our name on your resume. What more do you want? And I've heard from various employees at the hospital, it's not just RTs, it's everybody gets dicked in getting paid at Hopkins. Because you get their name on your resume. Thanks. You guys want to see my resume? Oh yeah, Nady, it's everyone there. They're like, I talked to a couple NPs, and the NPs, nurse practitioners who are arguably doctors at this point, literally running ICUs on their own at nighttime, were getting paid what I was getting paid as an RT in Seattle. And I don't even want to know what kind of loans they have. I don't want to know. Nightmares? $20, yes. I managed our ER and only made $17.90 an hour. Oh yeah. It's terrible. There's no one there to make them do it different. And hospitals are getting fucked. It's insurance companies fuck everybody. Let's all just acknowledge that. Like, yeah, hospital administration is pulling a lot of cash, but insurance companies are the root of all the evil. Basically, what insurance companies do is they come in and they go, we won't pay for this, or this. Which are all extremely necessary, medically, required equipment that everyone in research and in the world has agreed, yes, that is the required way to heal this person of said what X, But insurance companies won't do it. They'll come up with their own whatever, and they're allowed to do that because there's no fucking regulation there. So then what we have to do, the hospital, is they have to go, okay, we have to spread out the cost for all of this among all the other stuff. So what happens is we all end up paying for the insane treatments via a nasal cannula. Like, if you get a nasal cannula in the hospital, guaranteed 3/4 of the cost of what you're going to pay for that nasal cannula is actually paying for someone else's med. I've told you guys about one of the most common meds we use as an RT is called albuterol. And pretty much the only negative side effect is it can raise your heart pressure and make your blood pressure, and your heart rate, and it can make you shaky like you've had a little bit too much coffee or caffeine. And if you already have a heart condition, we obviously don't want to agitate that. So we have a medication called levoalbuterol, which does the exact same thing but does not affect your heart rate. Most insurance companies in the world refuse to cover it because it's different. They would rather give you a heart attack because that makes them money. I don't know if that's really their logic, but that's what it looks like on paper and feels like when you're working in a hospital. It drives you fucking nuts. And they claim it's because levoalbuterol is so much more expensive to make. It's not that much more expensive to make. It's just because it's used less. Supply, demand, whatever. No shit, Lord Moldy. Oh, yeah. So, as far as I know, albuterol is a vasodilator. What it does, inhalers that you use if you have asthma, they dilate the bronchial tubes, which earlier we talked about are the delivery system for oxygen to your lung tissue, right? So unfortunately, there is no fucking way to isolate that process in your body, so it tends to happen all over you. So if I took an inhaler, for instance, because I don't take them, if I did an albuterol, I'd get the shakes for 15 minutes. That's all it does. 15 minutes, and your heart rate goes up a little bit and your blood pressure. So if I look through your chart and you're literally there for heart transplant or congestive heart failure, obviously as a human, I'm going to go, maybe I shouldn't fuck with that. And I'd request to leave albuterol, but 99.9% of the time it'd get refused. It's crazy. We would honestly, most docs will help us recode it in the system so we can give our patient leave albuterol, and then the hospital has to take on the charge for it because no doc is going to say, yeah, just give him a heart attack. The docs are just as passionate. They just have so much work. They tend to are very fucking tired. They will literally like get into the system and like fucking type all these weird shit, and suddenly you can give your patient a leave albuterol, but we're paying for it. But just as a moral thing, like how could you do that? Your patient's wheezing, which means the bronchial tubes are shutting down, which means not ample oxygen is being delivered to your lungs. But they also have a heart issue. Like, what would you do? You help your patient. They're a fucking human being. Isn't that honestly, Lord, like that's probably the coolest part about medicine to me. Like I still keep up to date I still have my respiratory license just in case as a backup. And in order to keep most medical licenses, as far as I know, we have to do continuous education all the time. Like twice a year, I have to take little online quizzes that I pay for and submit to the NBRC, whatever. And I still do all of that, so I keep up to date and I read the journals and stuff. It's constantly changing. Like every 6 months, we are learning new ways to treat different diseases of the lungs and the heart, and it's kind of amazing. I haven't seen a new update on it. Is yours being weird? I can check and see if it has one today. I'm really curious if the U.S. could transition to public health care. Like if you had to have the state pay for what you're paying for treatment right now, it would, excuse me, it would be the most expensive public health care system I could imagine. I wonder if you have to build we would literally have to rebuild the infrastructure. I've looked at some planning for that, like theoretical planning, if we were ever even able to do that. Unfortunately, no one in our country believes in it, so we can't. But literally, we don't have enough hospitals to support the population of our country at this point. Like hospitals are essentially a luxury of the rich. ERs are where most of the population goes when they need a doctor's appointment. They just go to the ER. So the emergency department, that's your clinic. The rest of the hospital is for rich people, basically. I mean, in general, there are outliers, but I have to be fucking dying if I'm going to go to the hospital because I know what that bill is going to come out. Isn't it more moral to protect their stock portfolios than people's lives? Oh no! Their third yacht, though! Kill me. I mean, man, you just gotta see how much Botox is in the face of some of the administrative staff at the hospitals I've worked at. Botox is easily $8,000 an appointment. They making a lot of more money. Like this is where the shit gets crazy. So, for instance, if you were just to sleep in an ICU room of Johns Hopkins, or most hospitals I've worked at, it's around this cost, just to sleep. That's no lights, no medication, no oxygen, no nurse, no nothing, no staff. You're just sleeping in the room. It's $6,000 a night. Who got that? It's not any of us knee deep in the blood. I'm telling you that. Doctors included. But administration's eyebrows don't move anymore. I'm just seeing if I have an update on my iPad. Software update. Do I have one? Ooh, I do have one today. Is it bad? Should I not do it? There's one today. It would save money. Oh, 100%. I mean, so much of the money spent is in excess. 100%. I need that third super yacht and the fifth private plane. I'll die without it. I can't go down without my lambskin leather. Knee deep. I mean, seriously, Hex. I was telling chat, like at Hopkins specifically, it was $6,000 a night if you were to sleep in an ICU room, excluding all care, lights, oxygen, everything. Like nothing. It was just $6,000 base. And I was just saying, like, where does that money go? I know for a fact it's not going to me or nurses or doctors. Everybody thinks doctors are like rolling in cash. I don't know why. They make good money, but not that good. Jesus fuck. But I was saying, like, all the hospital administration is wearing like pure gold jewelry and their eyebrows don't move anymore from all the Botox. So that's my theory, but let me see. Oh, it is fine? Okay. I usually wait a couple days on Apple updates because they're usually fucked up. This one's for 15.4.1. I'm doing it. Oh, fuck a dick. I know my passcode. It's fine. I love my iPad more than anything. My OBS had an update today too, which was scary. But look, everything still looks like okay. It's a miracle of science. I don't know. I don't know what I did. The price of paper gowns. Oh man, you know what? I'm not even kidding you, David. Like they tried to get us to recycle nebulizers on patients, which is like if you've ever seen a puffer, like an inhaler in the hospital. If we give you your prescription for your inhaler, we give you a little mask with a tube on it, and we drip the meds in it. It's just like a better delivery system. We plug it into the wall, and air like aerosolizes it into your face. They literally, to save costs, the hospital was like, do you guys think you could like sanitize and reuse those between patients? That soft, porous plastic thing you stick on their face for hours at a time that they cough in, spit in, puke in? The answer was clearly a fuck no, but they tried. No. Oh, it was a bad. I mean, there's no. I don't need it. You guys aren't stupid. No. But they will try. They're always trying to cut corners. Because like the people at the top don't want to make any less, and the people at the bottom can't afford anything anymore. Like they're still trying to pay us like it's. I mean, my mom told me this when she graduated as an RT in 1975. She made a $1.25 an hour, and if you compare that to the $20 an hour I was offered recently, and the cost of living difference between 1975 and 2000, when did I start working there? 2015. It's mildly different. Mildly. Short answer, no. Long answer, no! Exactly. I'm soaking wet. They had us reusing N95s. Well, that's not okay. Everything hurts inside. I feel like some American politicians see public services as business and think that it's bad if they work at a loss. We saw that with the US Postal Service for a brief moment. Some people got very cynical about it and recommended to replace it with private services. Oh, 100%. I mean, that's our whole. I mean, the fact that there are people living in our country that could just pay off the entirety of the government debt means that anyone working in the government truly at the end of the day has zero power if whoever these people are with the money disagree. That's pretty fucking wild. It's wild. That's all I got. It's just wild. I don't know how it happens. You have to be kidding me. Recycling consumables. I mean, literally, they asked if we could autoclave the little metal nose pinch. I was like, yeah, because that's going to help this whole situation. And it's because the people in charge of the money spending have no medical background at all. They're money people. Their expertise is economics and shit. And so they're looking at stuff that we use constantly that we literally like every day are probably pulling 50 new ones and throwing them away and saying, can we cut that down? They have no fucking idea what they're even asking about. 100%. ZL, I've said that before. Like, I think this will never happen, but if you run for a political position, you should legally be allowed to accept exactly 0 donations at all and be able to spend exactly 0 money. I think the government should give you like 15 grand as a media budget, and that's all you get. And if it's shown you spent any more, or even if someone else spent more on you, you're out. Win. Impress me. I want to be impressed with no money involved. I'll be real impressed. Or actually, Dragon's Horden. Oh my god, I started watching. Speaking of dragons, is it called Vox Machina? Vox Machina last night. The Legend of Vox Machina. Last night. It's kind of adorable. There's a dragon that is really cool looking. Machina. I knew I was saying it wrong. It's real good though. I think I got through like 2 episodes. I thought it was really good. Entertaining. Titties. I like the little bard. He makes me laugh. Isn't it good? I just started it. How many? Is there only one season? It's pretty new, isn't it? Oh, there's some titty. I mean, it's like literally within 5 seconds of the show starting, like fuck, cunt, bitch, ass, titties were out. Like I think you see the swanging of some hairless balls. It's oh my god, you're assholes. They smell so bad. Oh yeah, I mean the first I've learned that, David, actually through watching a lot of different anime shows that I have to give it at least like 3 episodes a chance cuz the first episode more often than not fucking sucks. Just sucks. It's like too much stuff and like chaos and they're just trying to introduce every character in the entire universe in nonsensical ways and I just can't. I can't like cling. Safi. I'm an idiot and didn't reorder my contacts. Oh, I could have sworn I did. I even remember picking the delivery date, but I don't have a confirmation email and there's nothing on my bank saying I paid for them. I mean, we're just gonna have to put a pink highlighter up in them shits, I guess. Dang. Fuck. Do you have to get a new pair every time? Are they like one use? There's got to be a filter. I mean, was it? It was either Domestic Dan or Mythic used one that literally just changed their eyes, and it worked amazingly. If you can't find one, I would hit either of them up. Pretty positive. Either it was in Cerebrum, not Cerebrum. Gone. It was in Gone. One of them used a filter. Was it Myth? It might have been Myth. He used it, but it was amazing. It moved with his face. It was very, it didn't glitch around, you know? It works really, really well. So if you have a hard time finding one, I would not hesitate to hit up Myth. He's awesome. I mean, you know he's awesome, but he used one. He might be able to help you out. Did he use one for Rhyme as well? Oh my god, he did. You're right. He used a ton. Wasn't that the one he had like all the crazy darkness filters on it too? I mean, it looked amazing. It wasn't bad at all. I mean, I'm not blown away by Vox Machina. Honestly, it's kind of a fresh of breath air for me personally, just because I really need comedy. Any human being, show, movie, etc., that takes itself too seriously, I find comical in that fact alone, and I just can't. I'm like, why though? I need some of that. I need it, and I like that this is like the literally first episode, like 5 minutes in, it's like heads sliced in half and severed babies and shit, but like boobies. I don't know. I'm kind of a chaotic person though, so maybe it's my flavor. Seriously, dude, Gone. I still think about Gone all the time. Is that weird? Like, I'll have really, really random moments where I'm in the shower washing my hair or something, and I'm like, I wonder what, like, Violet's doing with that little android man on the beach. Like, I just think that out of nowhere. Like, what would they be doing? Would they just be chilling, like fishing? Is she polishing him? Like, what's happening? I think about it all the time. Ugh. Does he have a full filter for each character? A full rig? That makes sense. I mean, they're gorgeous. He really does. Most of the time, I think Caviar filters are kind of tacky. Like, I'm too much of a perfectionist for them. I try them, but I just can't. But he does such a clean job. He really has mastered them. And Safi's amazing with that stuff, too. Safi is the master behind helping me with my lighting via the interwebs while I scream cried at my desk. With the fan base at all, but I'm sorry to hear they have some bad elements. Ooh, which ones? I can't do with CR anymore. I have to report them for work, but after one too many. I'm sorry I can't read today. After one too many run-ins with the toxic side of their fan base. I mean, that's the role-playing fan base. I can speak to that. And it's not ours, I will say. Like, Table Story, for some reason, is so happy and wonderful and full of awesome people. But in general, I've done the RP, tabletop shows, and I've done RP in games and stuff. There is this strange pod of evil on Twitch that and I don't know if it's just specific to Twitch, obviously not, that moves within the RP community in general that is so icky. I've seen them a few times. I know they're out there. I used to see them every once in a while on ESO and shit too, like RPing. It's like an overarching like RP, like it's like this. It's like a mix of that incel mentality, like nobody likes us, so fuck them kind of shit, but also just like, ugh, what you said, I don't like the word toxic. I feel like it's really overused. I was trying to think of another word for it. It's just like the most nauseating amount of negativity, I guess. Like nothing could probably make these people smile in a million years, I guess. Maybe that. Malignant. Oh, that's a good one. Malignant. Yeah. It feels like it's like just blah, 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 blah. I don't like it. And I'm so used to, the table story community who's just like joyful and awesome. I could make the worst character in my life and they'd embrace my character. They're so wonderful that when you get exposed to that, you're like, shoo. Wow, the music started at that exact moment. What good timing. Shoo, shoo. Stretch and hydrate with me, motherfuckers. Actually, it's time we should take a break. We've been streaming for about 4 hours. We should get up and stretch our big dicks and little dicks and all of our clits and all the things. Don't stretch your privates, Jesus. Wait, what? Wait. Ziel just said, what the hell? They found 5 fetuses? Fetuses? In the home of an anti-abortion dude. I have answers, and I need questions. Ma'am, this is a Starbucks. What? Dude, Zucarion, like that shit. That is the shit. It's weird. It's so like, what the fuck, you child? Shut up. It's like, do you not have anything better to do in your life? It's weird. I mean, gamers, you might not know this. There's an entire Discord dedicated to just hating me. Of people. They call themselves the cesspool. I'm not even kidding. Just hating me. They just post anything I post on Twitter and rip me apart in their own private Discord because doing it on Twitter would get them banned. But it happens to anyone. It could literally happen to anyone in the public eye. Like, it's just gross. I've been but the positive side is so wonderful. I'll go back. Like, I'll risk that icky for my friends, I guess. Eliza, I still get people on the inside sending me posts like once a month.
I'm gay.
Basically, just ripping me apart for something.
19 tipped $5. So last night as I was coming home from the congressional orgy with Madison Cawthorn, we did a toot and they made me use the litter box like a good cat girl before they made me drink pilk out of the bowl and listen to Alex Jones / Dr. Oz on repeat.
Blood orgy! Yay! Blood orgy! Blood orgy! Yay!
Oh, my holy dicks. Lady Wolf, motherfucker! You just missed one of the most beautiful donation messages of my life. Welcome, Raiders. My name's ClassyKatie. Did you know that some politicians are trying to spread a rumor that young children who are interested in furry culture want to shit in litter boxes? What? Welcome, Raiders. The world is chaos. Be kind. I'm not kidding you. Like, apparently some parents found out that their kids were interested in furry culture, which, if you're unaware of what furry culture is, it is people who identify with an anthropomorphized kind of character they've invented. Sometimes they make these very elaborate $7,000 costumes for them, so on and so forth. The cosplay is some of the most impressive I've ever seen in my life. But some parents thought it was icky and decided to post a rumor on Facebook that kids were requesting litter boxes. And that one kid who identified as a dog, which is not how it goes, was so angry there wasn't litter boxes, he just took a dump on the floor. They said that like in a political arena like last night. There's video of it on YouTube. You can look it up. Like grown adults said that out loud. It's insane. Why are we hating on kids so much lately? Like making trans children a crime and saying that children want to shit in a litter box? Like the fuck is going on? They're hobbyist LARPers, exactly. I mean, one of the lead singers of ICP has a furry costume because one of their children is a furry and wanted to go to conventions, but their child was under 18. So he paid for a full-on fucking badass furry outfit and took his daughter to furry conventions. If that isn't the best parenting, I don't know what is. Think of the children expressing their right to be who they want to be. When I was a kid, they told me I could be whatever I want, which was a bold-faced lie. And now they're like, you can't be anything but black or white. Stop it. Sit down. Get away from that litter box. It's so weird. Ugh. Corrupt them young, control them as adults, dude. It's like breaking them, like breaking a horse. Banana, thank you for gifting a sub to Lady Wolf. Lady Wolf, thank you so much for rating us today. Welcome. How the fuck are you, love? I'm always so full of fury. You know me. Anytime I hear about bullshit. The kitty litter thing was proven to be false and people don't care. I know, they'd rather believe it's real. That's crazy. There's a population of human beings that would rather believe because it's been proven false. They'd rather just believe that there's a population of children who want to shit in a litter box as opposed to acknowledging a rumor. That's weird. Like, what kind of porn do you look at? I don't want to know. I mean, you can use a litter box if you want, but maybe adults shouldn't spread evil rumors about innocent children expressing their, creativity with furry culture. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. You guys know what I'm saying. It's kind of fucked up. Rin. Hello, love. Thank you for the resub.
And hail the Dank Lord.
I just want to share this quote on... I wanted to share this quote on this. My year of throwing money at Katie. I wish you could literally throw it at my face. It'd be way more fun. Who we are in the present includes who we were in the past. Oh, Mr. Rogers stabs me in my soul places all the time, though. Who we are in the present includes who we were in the past. That's so pretty. And it's real, and it's kind of cathartic. It's very wonderful. Mr. Rogers had some fucking knowledge drop, man. I used to watch that show as a child, like as a children's show. And later in life, seeing clips of some of the things he said on the show, I'm like, my parents let me watch this? Truth means nothing to these people. Well, it's like, I get that, but where's their ends, I guess? Where's the means to the ends in this attacking kids shit? You know, maybe that's just me. I wonder. Like when I was a kid, I was, the little goth bitch that shopped at Hot Topic and put blue hair dye on top of my brown hair. It was a terrible time. And Columbine happened, and I'm not saying it's same or in any way, but we were definitely villainized because we wore black and had piercings. So they were like, oh, this entire population of kids may bring guns to the school. Meanwhile, literally every other student in my class had a rifle in the back of their car, and the deer they shot that morning. Like, you can't do that to kids. It's not fair to villainize a population of children. Like, the fuck? What the fuck? They're kids. They're fucking kids. What we do now echoes in eternity. Oh my gosh, that one, I don't know why this is another good one, Weave. You'll like this one. This is, oh my God, I think it was Keanu Reeves, not shitting you, that said this. So if you ever watch Stephen Colbert, he has like this little quiz he'll do to guess, and apparently you're known after you do the quiz. And one of the questions is, what do you think happens after we die? And Keanu Reeves said this. He said, the people that love us will remember us. And I just... well done. The people who love us will miss us. What did I say? Did I say remember us? I meant miss us. I literally have it on a post-it on my desk somewhere. I wrote it down. I liked it so much. Is it miss us? My bad. Yeah. The people who remember us will miss us. Or love us will miss us, right? The people who love us will miss us. It's real good. It's just such a poignant quote. I think it's really wonderful. It kind of like gives you kind of a scope of life a little bit. It's healthy. And when I was in therapy, his show was right after I got home. Oh my God, I would have watched it so hard. I haven't seen his show in so long. So hard. I've gotten knocked down a few times, have stacked up some damage before age 18. I mean, well, but my moods are weird and I talk to things other people can see. Am I still okay? Oh, sunshine, just go right to hell. I feel that. I feel that. After my dad died, my mom sent us to grieving therapy, and the therapist, I wouldn't say mine, I was 7, told my mom I had sociopathic tendencies because I didn't cry about my dad dying. He was a raging alcoholic who did not wake up before 8 p.m. every night. Thanks, I guess. It's not that weird. Their strategy is to make people who have progressive ideas about identity look outrageous. They don't care about kids. They care about villainizing progressive identity ideas. Oh my God, that's so real. And that literally, I think you just stabbed a ventricle. That's so true, though, David. That's so well worded. They don't care about kids. They care about villainizing progressive identity ideas. I want to applaud you, but it's disgusting. Just, but also icky. It's so well worded, though. It's true. Sameness. They love the sameness. Blend in. What I love about Fred Rogers is how many people are shocked he was a Methodist minister. I don't know why I knew that forever. Maybe my mom told me when I was a kid. He never made his faith a big deal. He preferred to teach the lessons of how to lead a good life than shoehorn, well, I'm Christian. Oh my God. What a concept. You mean carry forth what Jesus preached in the last 15 pages of the Bible instead of just talking about it all day? What? Stop it. No one cares about your big brain ideas. uh. Dude, he really did throw. I love when people throw Colbert. It's great. A teacher told me I was terrifying them and probably was a terrorist for wearing a black coat and having long hair. How old were you? That's sick. Some people in society, well, CK, he was still your father, me, and yeah, we, honestly, since he died, my mom has allowed my sister and I to call him the sperm donor. She does not inflate our heads with like, oh, he was a great father and he was there for you. Like, she's like, no, he fucked me and I got my kids and we're all grateful he did that, but beyond that, he was not. He just drank himself into a nonsensical stupor. That therapists do not mean knowledgeable. An accredited, acclaimed, successful therapist can still be an absolute moron and reveal themselves. Oh, 100%. I've talked about it a lot of times in my chat, just being your own advocate. And if it's hard to do, look at it this way. Everyone in the medical industry is your employee whom you are paying for a service. If you are not getting the service you are paying for, fire them and get a new one. There's a ton. It's a little bit of effort, but it's 100% worth it. Quit throwing money at a wall that's doing nothing for you. Like, 100% believe that. Oh my God, Lizzie, we do need to take an ad. Fuck. I need to pack a bowl too, and ground weed. Robo, I'm gonna have to post cheers you, because I need to load my bowl, and we do need to take an ad break. Otherwise, so for those new to my channel, just swinging by, what's up? My name's ClassyKatie. These are my holes. Welcome. If I don't run a 3-minute chunk of ads every 2 hours, Twitch just does it on their own, like over us chit-chatting back and forth, and I think that Twitch should remain a free platform by choice forever. What the fuck is this? It's a conversation. We're hanging out. I don't think you should be penalized. So in order to protect us from having ads pre-rolled, I try to run one every couple of hours. And I also encourage you to stand up and stretch your body, because circulation's important. DVTs are scary. Don't do that. Get some water and pack a bowl, and when we come back, we'll cheers and stuff. I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. Enjoy the fish. I germinated weed seeds. But that means I have to plant them now. So now I'm nervous. But do you want to see them? They're cute. It was the strain called unicorn poop, had seeds in it, so I saved them and I germinated them. I'm so excited. Hello, Kiasta, how you doing? So these are my seeds. I think there's like 5 of them. Yeah. Holy shit, one super blast. Look at the little sprouts on them. The fuck is that orange thing? Oh, it's not. It's just discoloration. They're sprouted. Cute. Only that one didn't. What a little failure. All the rest have sprouted, though. That's sick. I hope they're ladies. I know, I'm excited. I read that once they do that, I gotta put them in dirt, so I'm gonna have to plant them tonight, but I'm excited. I haven't grown weed in so long. I've grown it before. It's not a hard plant to grow. As long as you keep it moist and drained, they're pretty fucking easy to grow. But if you get boys, the weed's just not that great. And if they fuck each other, then you just get seeds. But I'm excited. I just hope they're not big. I can't remember if unicorn poop was like a sativa or not. Sativas tend to get tall. Indigos tend to be like short and fat, from what I remember. Oh, Lord Moldy, you know what? They don't die. They just go back to the earth and become food for the other ones. Totally okay. I ate my twin in the womb. It's basically the same thing. Any idea why sinuses clog like a bastard when I smoke? It's the heat and the dry. Mine do the same. It would happen like if you walked into like when I go to Arizona and just walk into that 120 degree fucking dry as fuck hot weather, my sinuses go and shut down. It's the heat and the dry. Mine's never done it from pot, but honestly, because I smoke it out of bong, it's probably really cool. Saline spray, like you can just get one of those bottles of saline spray or something for your nose. Just keeping your nose nice and moist. Drinking water in between hits can help. It's literally like it's your sinuses. They're not clogged. They swell as a protection mechanism to protect your airways from the foreign substance you have just inhaled. So it's really just active sinuses doing what they're supposed to do. It's just super annoying. Dude, 100%, Casper, I was talking about that earlier. Like, weed for me is one of those things that I know that I am not as pleasant to be around if I'm sober as a dog. I don't need to be fucking stoned, but it's hard for me to follow conversations and just have, like, a normal thought process because I think too fast. I'm like a tiger beetle. Nasal saline gel and nasal mist from the store. Ooh, I've never heard of the gel before. Is it pretty good? Ooh. Ooh, I paid $4.75 for something on Amazon the other day, and today it's $2.99, and they don't price match. Return it and buy it. Can you just return it and just rebuy it? Not that I want to cheat the system, but Amazon's got plenty. Dude, I have chronic dry sinuses. My sinuses are a shit show. I feel that hard. That's what I would do, CJ. Like, seriously, and if you're worried about it, like, if you have the cash, honestly, that's a lot of money. But if you have $2.99 or whatever, buy that first, and then return your other one with the original receipt for the other one. Don't let them only give you $2.99 back for the original one. That's fucked. I can't believe they don't price match. That seems so bizarre. Ooh, Rin says, I bought and returned and rebought for less than that difference, and they refunded without issues. There you go. That's what I would do if they refused it, because that's a huge difference. Like, come on, get your money. We all suffering. Bezos obviously is not. Bezos, the Bezos. It's called weed for a reason. It grows super easy. It's getting like a good smokable bud. That's, I think, the art of weed. I think that's where like the true growers come in. I am a noob. I've grown it before, and I did grow. In my opinion, my weed was fantastic. But I think the art is like that maturing period. I remember when I grew it, I grew the strain blueberry, which is it's a indica, quote unquote. It's just the plant is more short and fat, easier to grow indoors. And I remember once it was at a certain stage, I think once I saw buds forming or something like that, you had to expose it to exactly 12 hours of sunlight and 12 hours of pitch black, and you had to do that for weeks. It was wild. And that was me like trying to make the perfect weed. I live in Colorado. I can go buy the perfect weed. I know there's people who do this as a job much better than I can ever do it. Anyone who's Katie, anyone who's flying a giant penis into space can lose 150. I agree. 100%. Yeah. They used to price match, but there was an app add-on that would price check for auto price matching. Oh, and that cost them profits. What douches. It's weird because I know if you go to like, if I've gone to like Best Buy, you know, and if it's cheaper on Amazon, Best Buy will price match. Amazon, price match. I'm gonna grind up weed. Price match. Price match. What is this? Orange cookie chem, sure. Cold brew tea, and I just wanted you all to know, ooh, is it delicious? What kind of tea did you make? When I was a kid, my mom used to make what she called sun tea. And it was essentially just this really tasty, like, it was like a cinnamon orangey kind of tea that she would put all the tea bags in this huge ass glass container full of water, and she just put it outside all day in the sun. And the sun made tea, but it was so good. I forget nothing. What do you mean? I like severed body parts. I've got a head up there, too. I got a thing for him. I don't know. I want more. I want more. I've got severed arms and heads aplenty. I've got human teeth and fingernails galore. I don't have anything else. I don't know what to say. You want tarantula molts? I've got hundreds. But who cares?
No big deal. I want more.
Not of the tarantula molts. I'm good. Although, one of my big tarantulas, 2 of my huge tarantulas molted the other day. I'm actually really excited to pull their molts out. Azula, if you're familiar with my spider family, Azula is one of my biggest tarantulas. She molted, and my Visi spider molted. And she is a Nandu chromatus. They're really pretty. They have a red butt, and then their legs are black and white banded all the way down, so their molts look exactly like that. They look really cool. I'm excited to pull the skin out and keep it forever. No, I haven't bought them yet, knives. I think they're seasonal, and so the shipping date was really far out. So I messaged the lady, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I just don't have that amount yet." And I was like, "Oh cool, I'll just watch them." But I think they might just gathering them might be seasonal because animals might eat them. I don't know. Ooh, I like white tea. White tea is one of those teas I really didn't think I'd like, simply because I'd had white coffee. I know that's a stupid comparison to make, but when I worked at an espresso stand in high school, we had white coffee, and it was not horrific, but it tasted like the outside of a walnut shell and dust to me. And people would order it all the time. I think it's higher caffeine or something. People love white coffee beans. And so grinding them, I would have to smell them all the time. And for some reason, I was like, white tea's got to be the same. And then I went to a Thai place and had like a white jasmine tea, and it was really fucking good. I think I think they don't roast it. They do something else to cook it. I don't know if it's boiled or something, because they're not raw. You can't like grind up raw coffee beans, I don't think. If anybody knows, I don't know. High school was a bit ago for me. I don't remember. I think it was like it had just come out when I was in high school. Let's Google it. I'm gonna Google it. I'm curious now, honestly. I want to know. Let's learn together. White coffee is a coffee roasted half of the way through. Oh, it is roasted to a lower temperature. By roasting it to this much lower temperature, you get a whitish colored bean that is higher in caffeine because you roast out less caffeine. This results in a very nutty. It's awfully nutty. It's shit, Austin. This results in a very nutty and sweet taste profile, much different from traditional coffee. It doesn't taste like coffee at all to me. It tasted weird. I felt like I was drinking nutshell. It's nutty. I guess I didn't think it was roasted because it is so. I mean, literally, this is a picture. It looks like a peanut. That doesn't look like coffee to me. But I guess, yeah. I didn't like it though. But I associated it to white tea. They are not the same. That's nuts. What a knee slapper. White tea, it's one of my favorites now. Absolutely. I used to be very much like a black tea or nothing person, and I'm very much into herbal teas now. There's so many good ones out there. I'm leaving. Sorry. You can take the girl out of the neck, but you can't take the neck out of the girl. Give me that fancy eaten and shit out by an animal coffee. Oh my god, civet coffee. Why, though? Why? Just because you can does not mean you should. We should make that. Sales! Have a good night, honey boo boo. If I caught you, sleep well. Why not? It tastes like poop. It was pooped out of the butt of a cat. Cats have dirty butts. I don't know. When you have the option of not poop coffee, why poop coffee? I guess to each their own. You're not wrong. I shouldn't judge. But I do think that they correct me if I'm wrong, I think they farm these animals for the coffee at this point in a really cruel way, kind of like fur farm kind of way. So in that case, we know why not. I don't need to say it. Is that real, Fox? I thought that was real. I thought it was. Like, they keep them in tiny-ass cages and force-feed them the shit to get the Yeah. Yeah. Well, none of us here stand for animal cruelty in any way, shape, or form. What do we not cruelty farm? Snails. Snails have a pretty chill farm life. There's some decent instant coffee out there. A lot of people like to hate on it. I usually pack it if I travel because some countries straight up don't drink coffee. Like, it's just not cultural. And there are some decent instant coffees out there. They're not terrible at all. Not at all. People are, I don't know why people got so snobby about stuff like that. If it tastes like shit, it tastes like shit, but that doesn't mean it's all instant coffee is shit or all this coffee is shit. I don't know. Branch out, my dudes. Don't be like me. Don't associate white coffee with white tea. White tea is delicious. Thank you for that follow, Gio. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my stream. I was just going to pull up Darkest Dungeon and, like, plod on through it while we chit-chat, because whatever, why not? The enzymes in the digestive tract change the chemical composition. I believe that. Your stomach acid's pretty intense. It's like, I mean, our stomach acid can digest a penny. It can, like, dissolve a penny over time, you know? I believe it does something. I still probably wouldn't. I don't know. The cruelty to animals is where I cut it off. Like, if you have to abuse another life to get shit coffee, maybe not. Maybe we don't need the shit coffee. Oh, no, man, this is me. Cheers. Oh, David, absolutely. Eliza actually sent me the trailer yesterday. Was it 426 for Central? It is. Oh my god, I forgot to put a clock on my desk. Yay. Are those the little, is it like the little oblong can, the Maxwell ones? Because I think I like those too. I've had those ones. Fox, it's weird. Or like how people will be like, I can't believe you got a McDonald's hamburger. Why didn't you go to Five Guys? Because I didn't want to pay $15 for the same exact burger. Five Guys is delicious, but their burgers are easily like $15 fucking dollars. Suck a dick. I don't live that rich life. Oh, David, absolutely. I got to the point where I think I'll actually start naming people. Like yesterday, you know when you like push through the first couple rounds and normally they're terrible? I was doing so well, like phenomenally. Like I think the first run I took 0 damage. I think one of my guys tripped on a rock or something. We had a little bit of damage, but that was it. It was stupid. It was crazy. So I might actually, we lost one person last run, but they were a newbie and I didn't, yeah. I'm just changing our category real quick before I forget. There we go. It's like I love salty black licorice, and yet I've seen several YouTubers refer to it as eating Satan's butthole. I love salty black licorice as well. If that's what Satan's